Ladies and gentlemen, it's Friday, October 10th, 2025. This is the Owen Report, and here is what's coming up today. Well, it seems in many ways American politics has become embedded with Middle Eastern politics, and today raises the stakes. Pentagon agrees to host Qatari F-15 fighter jets and pilots at Idaho Air Force Base. That's right. The U.S. agrees to host Qatari Emory Air Force facility at Mountain Home Air Force Base for F-15 pilot training. Of course, Qatar just agreed to purchase these jets, and they will be practicing and learning how to use them in Idaho. And of course, it's ironic because many people who have had no problem with foreign influence in our government, many people who have no problem with Middle East politics in our government, up until now all of a sudden they have a problem with it. Now all of a sudden they're threatening to not vote in the midterms. Boy, oh boy, who called that? So that's got them riled up today. We'll be digging into that. And then you have U.S. to deploy 200 troops to Israel for Gaza task force. They claim they won't be doing military operations, but they're there for the safety as the ceasefire holds for now. And there is incredible footage, tens of thousands of Gazans marching back to their homeland. But of course, these videos, these images are quite jarring as they are walking through a pile of rubble. They are just walking through the rubble that Israel has left behind. Never seen anything like that before in my life. Well, you got the government shutdown that is continuing, and so they're trying to figure out what to do. By the way, so now it's official that paychecks are being affected. They're saying about 700,000 federal workers are now going to be going without a paycheck from here on forward as long as the shutdown continues. But Congress is still getting paid. Congress is still getting paid. Now, I guarantee you at some point, they're going to say, how dare President Trump take a paycheck while the federal workers are not getting paid? To which President Trump will point out that he never takes a paycheck. He always gives it back. And my guess is when they do play that card, not only will he show them how he doesn't take a paycheck, he'll then probably make a donation just to rub it in their face. But they will play that card, I guarantee you. And now they tried to get a separate bill to pay the troops. It failed. It was blocked in the House by Republicans. A lot of weird stuff going on in the House. And now the Senate, by the way, the Senate has now abandoned D.C. The Senate got out of there real fast. They wanted to take a nice summer vacation with the House. So it's just, your Congress is a joke, folks. Your Congress is a joke. But hey, you know what's not so funny? Maybe it is funny, actually. Maybe it is a joke, but it's serious. IRS furloughs nearly half its staff amid shutdown, prompting chaos and confusion. And Trump is saying maybe it's for good. Maybe it's for good. FBI fires agents who worked on Jack Smith's probe into Trump. Fired? Fired? How about jail? How about jail? Gold continues to skyrocket, hitting record highs. This is benefiting China. We'll tell you why. And then maybe that's why Donald Trump put out a long statement on China today. Most people missed that. But maybe that's what it is. Melania Trump is in the news. We've got some other odds and ends today, some sports news. We're going to play some clips from Trump's cabinet meeting yesterday. It was a very important cabinet meeting. A lot of things, important things were discussed. We also have some other political odds and ends we're going to get to today as well. And since it's Friday, we're going to have open phone lines. Looking forward to taking some calls. So that's what's coming up on today's edition of the Owen Report.
This news update was brought to you by OwenSchroyer.store, the official site for Owen Report merchandise.
Ladies and gentlemen, your new home for political play-by-play, the Owen Report.
Man. I was at the gym today, and I had almost finished. I'd almost finished my workout. I'd almost finished my workout, and I usually like to go outside and stretch or swim or something. I'm walking out of the gym, and Volbeat, it was this song specifically, the new Volbeat album, At the End of the Sirens. This song came on, and there's like this wave of adrenaline. Do you ever get that? That's why I like heavy metal. It's like an injection of adrenaline. It's like an injection of testosterone. And people say, do you listen to country music? I say, well, I do like country music. I do listen to country music. But we're going to figure out. I don't know what's going on with the audio. I was telling my producer this before the show. There's all these weird settings when you try to do this to control the audio, so I don't know what's going on. Let's see. Send me a message, producer Dom. Send me a message right now with what's going on with the audio, and we'll see if we can't figure it out before I go to some of these clips. So, yeah. If I listen to country music, I just want to lay around and find a lake or an ocean and a cold beverage. I listen to heavy metal music, it's like rush of adrenaline, get up and kick ass. That's how it is for me. You know, it's funny. Okay, I think we may have an idea what the problem is here. We're going to get it all figured out. This week has been a lot of different things. We're doing kind of a stress test, some pressure tests. I don't know if it'll all be perfectly formatted next week because next week we're actually starting the show on the road on Monday. We're actually going to be doing a town hall type of show with Mark Lynch, who is running for the Senate seat to replace Lindsey Graham. So we're going to be doing a town hall on Monday with Mark Lynch in South Carolina. And then I've already got a debate scheduled Tuesday night. I've got an interview scheduled Wednesday night already on top of the regular show. So I don't know how much we're going to be able to tinker with things and get everything perfect next week. But certainly as we continue with these stress tests and pressure tests, eventually we'll get there. And it's funny too because I can't wait. I got, in case you didn't see, so the old keyboard. Remember I was bitching about that Logitech Pebble. Don't buy one of those things. It's a piece of crap. I went back to the old one, which I didn't want to do because it's too big. But whatever, at least it works. I can't wait. I'm gonna destroy that keyboard. I'm gonna bash it with a hammer. I can't wait. It's gonna be very soothing. And then today, I've had this printer for like less than a month. I've probably printed less than 100 sheets of paper. It's already out of ink. So I figured it's going to be therapeutic to bash that keyboard. Why not bash the printer too? So I didn't even print anything out today. Maybe we end up going paper free. I don't know. I got used to doing the news with the actual stacks in front of me. Maybe we do it all digitally now. But I think we'll do a full on office space style video where I'm bashing in the old keyboard, bashing in the printer. It's going to be very therapeutic for not just me. I think everybody that watches that has these problems. And what is it now? Is this just how it is? Do you have to spend like $1,000 to get a nice printer now? It didn't always used to be that way. You used to be able to spend like $100. You could get a nice printer that would work. The printer that I have in my house here downstairs, I probably got that printer 15 years ago for $100. Still works like a charm. I don't think I've ever changed the ink in it once. How is that even possible? Works like a charm. Never had a problem. Never had to change the ink. This new one I get, it's like $300. It's already broke. Is this what it's like now? Is this what it's like in the world of technology now? You have to spend $1,000 to get a printer that works? Maybe. All right. Enough ranting and raving. Let's get to the actual show content, shall we? You know, it was very important. Some things were discussed yesterday at President Trump's cabinet meeting. Some very important things were said. And then there was a follow-up from the FBI, from the DOJ. And it's like, I want to believe. I want to feel like we're getting somewhere. So they make these statements during the cabinet meeting, and then they go out afterwards and they shoot these videos talking about how no one's above the law. And obviously this was all coinciding with the Letitia James story from yesterday. And it's the FBI and it's the DOJ. And they're, oh, no one's above the law. If you're a criminal in this country, we're going to get you. And they're going to get to the bottom of where all the Antifa money and all the left-wing radical terrorist money is coming from. And it's like, okay, I want to believe. I want to cheer you on. I want to say, hey, this is great. I want to report to my audience that this is actually going to happen. But I just can't do it. I can't, because we've been here. How many times? How many times have we been here? Now, I'm willing to, as I've said, I'm willing and maybe forced to take a step back and say, all right, we'll give you some patience. Bondi is already, I don't think Bondi counts in this conversation. But with Bongino and Patel and maybe the larger deal of going after the deep state and going after all the leftist terrorist money, reluctantly, I'll step back and say, all right, I'm willing to wait and see. But that's about as good as I can do right now. That's about as good as I can do right now. I cannot report to you that I have much faith that this is going to happen because we've already heard this. It seems like every month, every other month, we go through this same song and dance. We're going to get the people funding the left-wing terrorists. We're going to get the deep state. We're going to get the Epstein list. Never mind, it's a hoax. So I get the frustration. I'm right there with you. But how can they keep saying it and do nothing? So, all right, I'll take a step back. We'll listen to what they say. We don't have short-term memory loss. We don't have long-term memory loss. So it's kind of like deja vu. But we'll listen to what they've said most recently. And we'll respond to it. And then we'll look at, so that was the cabinet meeting. And then the posts afterwards. So maybe we'll hear from you how you guys feel about all of this when we open up the phone lines. How much faith do you have that they're going to actually arrest the deep state? That it's not just going to be an indictment of Comey or James or Adam Schiff, which seems inevitable to be coming next. I would say Adam Schiff is 98% next up on the chopping block. And they got him. They got him. So what do? Do you look at the situation and you say, was Trump's biggest mistake at this point in his first term not going after Hillary Clinton and the Obama administration? Was that his biggest mistake at this point in his first term, not pursuing those deep state criminals? Or at the time, and I'm sure Trump's logic, at least to an extent, and maybe there were people in his ear saying this, we can't be the ones to break the tradition. We can't be the ones to break decorum. Because whenever that glass is shattered, whenever that case is broken, whenever that Pandora's box is open, and all of a sudden people start going after their political opposition, things can get bad fast. And hey, we're all crooks in D.C., so, we don't want that. But maybe that was Trump's biggest mistake, because we saw what happened when they stole an election. We saw what happened when they went after Trump and his associates and his supporters. So then you say, okay, well, did Trump learn from that mistake? Does he still think it's a better move to not go after the political opposition? Or do you say, nope, they started this now, so now the gloves are off? And then how far do they want to go? Is it a warning shot, James Comey? Is it a warning shot, Letitia James? Is it a warning shot, Adam Schiff? And let all the other crooks know, if we want to, we will? Or is it the beginning of a larger unraveling? Is it a strategic indictment to see if they can't get some of these crooks to sing? Because they weren't acting alone. Clearly, they're not acting alone. And we've seen enough in the past. Lisa Page, Peter Strzok. We know what they say behind closed doors. We know what they're up to. And really, this should be a bigger issue. But the administration gets distracted. And what are they distracted by? This continuation of Middle East politics seeping their way into our country. Now, obviously, Israel has been involved in U.S. politics and foreign policy for decades. Some would argue, and perhaps quite accurately, that Israel dictates our foreign policy, and certainly there is a level of truth to that. At this point, it's almost undeniable. So then what is this deal with Qatar? Is this Trump making business deals? Oh, and I love this one. Oh, you really think this tiny country in the Middle East with 9 million people of Israel, you really think they have the control? You really think they're that powerful? The size of New Jersey. Oh, okay. What's the population of Qatar? Like 500,000? You people sit here and scream about Qatar 24/7. It's like 500,000 people. There's like 1 or 2 cities that are even civilized in Qatar. So by that logic, by that measurement, Israel is 20 times the threat. Israel is 20 times as powerful as Qatar. But here you are, oh, it's just little Israel. It's just little Israel in the Middle East. It's the size of New Jersey, just 9 million people. It's just a tiny little thing. Quit talking about it. And then here's Qatar. Oh my gosh, it's Qatar. Qatar. Oh, well, that's interesting logic. So then if Qatar is such a threat, then Israel is 20 times the threat of Qatar. Oh, and yes, you had no problem. You had no problem with the foreign involvement of Israel. You had no problem with the foreign influence of Israel. No, you liked it. You supported it. You were part of it. But now Qatar, and all of a sudden you're against the foreign influence. You're not even going to vote in the midterms now because it's Qatar. A country even smaller than Israel. A country 1/10 the size of Israel. Younger than Israel. Oh my gosh. So what is Trump doing here? Is Trump just doing business deals? Is Trump trying to get along with everybody? Qatar buys a bunch of U.S. military weapons, just like Israel. Just like Israel. And anybody who's informed or not a liar will tell you that the air base that we have in Qatar is almost exclusively for military support for Israel. That's very likely the entire purpose that it serves, at least most of its purpose. Oh, but now it's Qatar is the big threat. And then they try to play this game with you. If you're not a Israel supporter and they play this game with you, and they say, whoa, you complain about Israel, but you're not complaining about Qatar. I'll complain about Qatar. That's not the own you think it is. No, I don't want a Qatar air base in America. No, I don't want America involved with Qatar. But there is this like rebel soul type of a reaction. Right? There is like this contrarian response that I can't help but have. You know, you don't even really mean it, but it's just, you know, it's just like, yeah, I do like Qatar, you know? Yeah, I really like Qatar. I'd like to do more business deals with Qatar. I'd like to cut Israel out and actually bring in Qatar, actually. Of course, I'm being facetious. But that's what they do, is they play this game. It's like, you complain about Israel, but you won't complain about Qatar, as if the two things are even close to equal. And then it's like, fine, I'll complain about Qatar. I want nothing to do with Qatar either. How do you like that? Satisfied now? Now what do you got? Now let's hear you complain about foreign influence. Now let's hear you hold yourself to the same standard. Oh, you won't do it. That's right. But who called it? You all saw it. If you've been listening to me for more than a year, you know I have been warning about this for over a year. That if the Republican Party does not abandon the Israel cause, or more largely Middle East affairs, that it will cost them the midterms. It will cost them elections. And now here's all the Israeli lobby. Here's all the Israeli digital influence. And what are they saying? If the Republicans and Trump are going to do deals with Qatar, then we're not voting in the midterms. The same people that attacked me, the same people that laughed at me when I said that if the Republican Party does not decouple from the Middle East, it will cost them the midterms. And I was attacked and I was lied about. But I was right. You proved me right at the end of the day. So as we say, never doubt me, folks. Never doubt me. So there's going to be a Qatari Emory Air Force facility at Mountain Home Air Force Base in Idaho. And of course, what is the parallel that they're drawing? The parallel that they're drawing is 9/11. Oh boy. So what are we doing? Do you believe the official 9/11 story? It does seem all roads lead to that with the Middle East issue, doesn't it? Because at the bottom of the barrel, when you get to the bottom line, where does it all go? It goes back to 9/11. So now I have to ask, do you believe the official 9/11 story? Because I certainly don't. And I would say that many Americans like me, maybe even at this point, most Americans, are at least willing to question 9/11. And why do I say like me? Well, I was obviously younger when it happened. I was in 6th grade. But I remember growing up. Specifically, I remember moments in college when people would talk politics. I remember moments in my early 20s when I wasn't so much into politics, but I would talk some politics. And I remember people would try to tell me, and They'd give me documentaries and they'd give me books. And they'd say, you know, you were lied to about 9/11. And I said, you're crazy. If we were lied to about 9/11, if something else happened on 9/11, our government would tell us, our media would tell us. Boy, how naive I was, huh? That's how naive I was in my early 20s. Who still trusts the government? Who still trusts the media? So, no, I think a lot more Americans are now willing to question 9/11. So here we go. It's, what do you base this Middle East policy off of? What do you base the vitriol? What do you base your attitude off of this entire Middle East situation? And it all goes back to 9/11. And so what are you going to do? Are you going to tell me that you believe the official 9/11 narrative? Is that what you're going to tell me? After everything we've seen in the last 10 years, the lies about Trump, the lies about COVID, the lies about the vaccines, the cover-up of the Vegas shooting. I mean, I can go on and on and on. But that one you believe. That one you conveniently believe. But say, I think that's disingenuous. I think people want you to think they believe the official 9/11 narrative because it benefits their foreign policy. I don't think they actually believe it. But maybe that's what they're arguing. So great. Wonderful. I'm glad we've reached this point. So tell me how Building 7 came down. Tell me how on top of the entire mountain of molten steel and rubble of the buildings that came down right in their footprint like any other controlled demolition does, and there was a gift sitting on top of it of all the passports and IDs of the guys that did it, perfectly there. There might as well have been a bow on it. It might as well have been wrapped up like a Christmas present. Santa left it there. Santa and the Easter Bunny gave us the gift, the evidence we needed. So now is that what you're going to tell us? Can't wait. Please lie in that bed. Please choose that bed and make it for us. Please. That will be fantastic. But I think most Americans are sick of it anyway. No matter where they stand on the events of 9/11. They don't want anything to do with the Middle East. Oh, but now that it's Qatar, they got a problem. Now that it's Qatar, they got a problem. And so the peace deal, we're going to be sending the U.S. to deploy 200 troops to Israel for Gaza task force. They're saying they're not doing military operations just for everything to go smoothly. I mean, I don't want to be too dark here, folks, but we're all thinking it. I wouldn't want to be one of the 200. I'll put it to you that way. How about that? How about that for a nice way to put it? I would not want to be one of the 200 because that's got to be one of the more dangerous operations that the public knows about, at least. That's got to be one of the most dangerous operations that you could be deployed on in a long time. I would argue that it would be more. I would argue that was more dangerous than the bombing of Iran's nuclear facilities. Now, I'd be getting a little conspiratorial because I think that was a deal. I think a deal was cut. I think Trump cut a deal with Iran to make that thing go smoothly and then declare victory. And now, of course, Netanyahu has crapped all over that because he wants us to bomb Iran again. The United States will deploy up to 200 troops to Israel to establish a task force to support stabilization efforts in Gaza. But no Americans are expected to be deployed into the Palestinian enclave. The U.S. Military Central Command will stand up the task force known as Civil Military Coordination Center, or CMCC. The job will be to facilitate the flow of assistance into Gaza, including security assistance and humanitarian aid. You have to wonder, You have to wonder what this is going to go like. And I'm not even talking about for, the dangerous aspects of being one of those 200. But I mean, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Have you seen these images of the people marching back to their homes in Gaza? Have you seen it? I've never seen anything like it in my life. They're they're walking through rubble. They're walking through what used to be their home, what used to be their civilization, and they're walking through it, and there's nothing there. It's all rubble. It's all rubble. So what are you even doing at this point? Who's going to be rebuilding the homes?
It is that obviously the ceasefire is holding. The ceasefire is working, and these people feel free to make their way north. They are walking along a main seaside route along the Mediterranean, heading north towards Gaza City. And as you pointed out in the last hour, many of them on foot for a number of different reasons. Either too poor to own a car, the fact that their cars could have been destroyed in the war, but also their cars could have been confiscated by Hamas during the war. That happened quite a bit.
From either side,
and finally, a lot of the roads so badly damaged after 2 years of fighting.
Do you really think the Palestinians or the people in Gaza
carrying their belongings,
the Gazans and their families, do you really think they're going to forget about this
during this war? And as Brian noted, the clock has begun.
Do you really think
72 hours until Hamas has
the current
to release
leaders
the hostages,
in Israel,
that would put the deadline
whose plan it was to just take that land after they bulldozed it and demolished it and bulldozed it, they just wanted to take it for their own and have the beachfront Israel property there? Do you really think they're going to forget about this?
To disarm. Here's the Prime Minister.
I don't like how this. I don't like how this deal is setting up, folks.
Yeah, the good is that.
But have you ever seen anything like that in your life?
The ceasefire is holding. The ceasefire is working, and these people feel free to make their way north.
They're going home to nothing. They're going home to
a main seaside route along the Mediterranean, heading north towards Gaza City. And as you pointed out in the last hour, many of them on foot for a number of different reasons.
Who's going
to own a car, the fact that their cars could have been destroyed in the war, but also
rebuild
their
the
cars could have
civilization?
been confiscated by Hamas during the war. That happened quite a bit. And finally, a lot of the roads.
Who's going to help these people reestablish their lives? Is it going to be America? Do we want that? Do we want troops there? Is it going to be Israel? I doubt that. Is it going to be Gaza, the Palestinians? What form of structured government or what form of structured anything do they have to rebuild? Probably nothing. You think these people have anything? A food truck, an aid truck comes through, they surround it like their lives depend on it. You think they have the resources to rebuild? You think the real estate conglomerates that see this beachfront, this beautiful beachfront property right there, and all the rubble around it, you think they're gonna let go of their desires? Well, I guess we'll find out. Trump's team seems to be pretty confident that this deal is going to work out, so only time will tell, but they'd basically be defeating all the odds. They'd basically be defeating all of human history and that region's history to do this. $200 Americans are going to be there. I don't feel so good about that. I will tell you that. I don't feel so good about that at all. By the way, you still have these pro-Palestinian protesters here. Check this one out. Did they finally get this? This is ironic on many different levels. The pro-Palestinian protesters have found a new target. It's the BlackRock headquarters. Check this out. So now So now they're protesting at BlackRock, as you see here. Well, who do you think is going to develop all of that land? Who do you think is going to develop that civilization that was just destroyed and all the infrastructure? It's probably going to be BlackRock. You know they're lining up to do it. You know they got their eyes on it. You know it was probably in somebody's plan. So are we allowed, if you're a right-winger, many right-wingers complain about BlackRock, specifically the dissident right, the anti-establishment right. They have their issues with BlackRock. They've been complaining about BlackRock for a long time. Are they allowed to agree with the people now? Are they are we allowed to come together on this issue or no? No, we find something we have in common and we're not allowed, or how are we going to deal with this one? They found the BlackRock headquarters. These people are so goofy. With their foreign flags. Oh, yes, your Islamic headdress that you purchased off Amazon last month. I'm very convinced your tag is still on it. Very convincing. All right, so the left is protesting BlackRock now. That's interesting. Here was the official announcement. Here was the official announcement. On the Air Force Base facility in Idaho.
We also value the close cooperation between Doha and Washington that led to the signing of the Gaza Peace Plan on October 8th. This historic achievement underscores what can be accomplished when our nations work together with courage and trust, amongst other partners such as Egypt and Turkey. We further welcome today's signing of the letter of acceptance establishing a Qatari Emir Air Force facility and Mountain Home Air Base in Idaho. This step strengthens interoperabilities, enhance joint readiness, and advance our shared defense goals. Mr. Secretary, together we will continue to deepen this strategic partnership in pursuit of lasting peace and shared security. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you. We wish you that.
Sign now.
Sign and trade. How about that?
Yeah.
So I would just say this. I don't like any of it. I've been calling for a decoupling from the Middle East for over a year now. And I still believe that's the best America first policy going forward. I do believe that. But let's say, all right, hey, I don't get everything I want. I don't know everything. But okay, fine. If we're dealing with good faith actors in the Middle East, then that's one thing. Now, I'm not saying that about Qatar. I don't know. I mean, the Trump administration thinks they're good faith actors enough to make this deal. They seem to have a very strong relationship with Qatar. But I think that the issue that most people are having now is when we're dealing with Netanyahu, we're not dealing with good faith actors. We're dealing with bad faith actors. We're dealing with liars. We're dealing with people that have an ulterior motive. That's Benjamin Netanyahu. That's Benjamin Netanyahu's digital influencers. That's all the people that Benjamin Netanyahu is using for a podium right now, doing the interviews, directed propaganda at the American people. If there was a leader in Israel that I felt was doing good faith negotiations, that would be different. But we don't have that. And Netanyahu, the story goes, rose to power after his opposition was killed. His opposition that wanted a peace deal. His opposition that was working for a two-state solution. He died, and then Netanyahu rose to power. Now that could be neither here nor there, but little background. So I'm not saying I trust anybody from the region. I would say I don't trust anybody for the region. I would say people in that region are so distrusting of everybody around them and maybe have their own issues with hate that's why we shouldn't be dealing with anybody. It's like, if you guys can't figure out peace on your own, then how the hell am I supposed to help? And if you've been at this for thousands of years, always trying to find leverage, always trying to find an angle, always trying to find a different way to get as many people on your side as possible, then how can I believe anybody's acting in good faith? Yeah, but look at here's a perfect example. And again, anybody who follows my work knows that I said this months ago. I've been saying this for years, that if the Republican Party, specifically after Trump was elected, because we had to get Trump in. If we wanted any shot of saving the country, we had to get Trump in. At least that's what we thought. Maybe we still do. So let's get Trump in. And then I said, if the Republican Party does not abandon Middle East politics, it will cost them the midterms. And I was attacked. I was told I was wrong. I'd be proven how wrong it is. And I said, you'll see. And now here it is. Here's Laura Loomer, who has gone from a radical America First journalist to a radical run cover for Israel journalist. Now the GOP has decided to literally harbor Islamic terrorists. So anybody from the Middle East that's not Israeli is an Islamic terrorist. On U.S. soil, I don't really care about fighting for Republicans as much as I did yesterday. I've lost hope for 26 and 28, to be totally honest. It's like a light switch. The switch has been turned off. And she says that she will not be voting in the midterms because of this. And I'm just sitting here like, hey, Laura, welcome to the party. Laura, welcome to the America First Party. Glad to have you here. We were here months ago when it was a foreign country's influence that you supported. But now that it's a foreign country you don't support, now you're with us. So, okay, fine. Whatever it takes. Glad to see Laura is with us now. She took a different route. She waved a different flag, but she's with us now. So great. So now all the pro-Israel people that had an issue with us because we didn't want to support a foreign country, now they don't want to support a foreign country. So now they're not going to vote for Republicans either. It's amazing, isn't it? So now we're all here. So now everybody agrees with Owen. So now everybody sees exactly what I called out months ago, that if we don't decouple from the Middle East, and if the Republicans don't distance themselves from Middle East politics, it will cost them the midterms. And now here we are. Never doubt me, folks. But that's what it took for them. So now all the pro-Israel accounts, we all know who they are. They're not shy. They've either removed the mask or they've put the mask on, whatever the phenomenon is. We all see it. But now they're with us. If you're going to be involved with Qatar, if you're going to be involved with Qatari politics, then I'm out. Welcome to the club. Nice to have you here. But poor little Qatar, why would you say that about poor little Qatar? It's a tiny little nation of 500,000 people or less. It's mostly people that go in there and work, and it's mostly just a military base to support Israel anyway. So, I mean, what? They're such a small country. Why do you care about this tiny country in the Middle East so much? Are you talking about Qatar or Israel? I can't tell now. So welcome to the club. We're sick of the Middle East too. Glad to have you here. Thank you. Welcome back to America First. Welcome back to the rebranded America Only. Welcome. Are you with us now? Or is this about something else still? Is this about some other interest still? Or are you with us now? I guess time will tell. But isn't that funny? Hey, I get it. You're not going to support Republicans as long as they're doing business with a foreign country in the Middle East? No qualms from me. No pushback from me. We've actually been here for quite a while, but nice to have you here. Welcome to the party. And you are welcome to our party. You are welcome. We will open our arms. We will embrace you. You didn't offer us the same courtesy, but that's okay. I guess we're the better people. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, this is going to be a fun one. That's going to be a fun one to see play out. Who gets more foreign aid from the United States? Oh, and don't do it. Who sends us more money? Don't. You don't want the answers to these questions. Which country accepts pedophiles from America and gives them safe harbor? Oh, no, not that one. Please, no. No. What country attacked the USS Liberty? Stop it, Owen. Stop it. Stop it right now. Which country's spies have a deal that they get to go back home? Knock it off right now, Owen. You stop this. By the way, Ivanka Trump with some action today. She's on social media this morning. It's actually very nice here to see Ivanka Trump, as you can see here. It's actually very nice to see Ivanka Trump. She came here to Texas, and she went over to pray at the Alamo. She went over to touch the Alamo and pray at the Alamo. Oh, no. Oh, I'm being told that's not the Alamo? Oh. I'm sorry. I thought... My bad, guys. Honest mistake. Honest mistake. I was just so used to our politicians going to touch the Alamo and pray at the Alamo. I was so used to all of our politicians going to Mount Rushmore or the Statue of Liberty or the Gateway Arch or Plymouth Rock. You know, hell, at Fenway Park, the Green Monster. I don't know. I was just so used to our politicians going to American monuments and American cathedrals and America to pray and to take the picture and to do all that, to show their loyalty to America. I'm sorry. Honest mistake. Honest mistake. I didn't realize they were at the wall in Qatar. Right. That's funny. I want you to take a look at something here. So this is, you know what? I should probably screen share this. Because to me, this is like why people are just not enthused, let's say. I think that's the best word to use, is enthused. President Trump has made history. This is from Dan Scavino, part of the Trump administration. And I like Dan. Seems to be one of the good guys. And it's President Trump has made history. Gaza peace deal, as you can see on the screen. And then it's literally a picture of the completely destroyed Gaza Strip. Still smoldering, by the way. The fog of war still hovering. And the quote is, President Trump has made history with the Gaza peace deal. And the image is literally Gaza completely destroyed. The magic is gone, folks. The magic is gone. And you can have your own thoughts and your own reactions to that, and that's fine. And maybe the magic is still there for you. You know, maybe you're one of those guys. Maybe you'll the magic maybe never lost for you. Maybe you're one of them. But for most people, the magic is lost. And to me, this is the perfect depiction of how the magic is lost right here. President Trump has made history, Gaza peace deal. It's literally, it looks like a damn nuclear bomb went off. And so I understand if you're, if you're the pro-Israel side, this is a total win for you, unless you wanted to conquer the land. So maybe it depends on where you're at on that. But for most people, they look at this as just a total victory in this war for Israel. Israel took the devastating attack on October 7th. And look, I believe it was a stand down, but either way, it still happened. Either way, Hamas, whoever it is, the Palestinians, either way, they still went in there and did that. That did happen. The extent, the gruesomeness, I mean, I don't know. They kind of keep all the stuff to themselves, and then they tell you a bunch of stuff. But October 7th did happen. There are hostages. There were dead people. That happened. So I understand when you're, on the Israel side, you look at this as a victory. It's like, okay, you did October 7th. We responded. We just annihilated your entire country. Your entire country is now flattened. How do you like us? How do you like that? So we dare you to do it again. Which history repeats itself. They say it'll be long-term peace. So to me, that's just, okay. This was you got your October 7th, and then we got 2 years of destroying your entire civilization. But now there's a peace deal. Well, whatever. However you feel about that, put that aside. When you're out here saying, look, President Trump made history, Gaza peace deal, and the background is what appears to be a nuclear Holocaust site. That's what I'm saying. It's like, what happened to people on the right? What happened to people inside the Trump administration? Do you have any self-awareness? This is the equivalent of MSNBC with a burning building behind them saying mostly peaceful, and the burning building behind them is, crumbling to the ground. People are screaming in pain and agony. Like, it's mostly peaceful out here. Things blowing up in the background. Very peaceful, mostly peaceful. That's what this is like. We made history, peace deal. It's a damn nuclear holocaust. Look at how great we are. We've made history. We achieved peace. And then behind you is the smoldering nuclear holocaust. Hello? Self-awareness check. The magic is just gone in my eyes. In my eyes, the magic is gone. That's how I feel about it. We're going to get into the Nobel Peace Prize situation. We're going to go to the desk of President Trump talking about China. And I think people are kind of missing the China story here. But that's by design. But I think people are kind of missing it. Before we close out the first hour, so you may be seeing some of this, and I do have some Marjorie Taylor Greene clips coming up, but this was this viral post on X, and the right wing is now using this against Marjorie Taylor Greene. It's not going to work, and she doesn't care anymore anyway. I'm actually really proud of Marjorie Taylor Greene and Thomas Massie, and if you don't agree with their politics, that's fine. But you have to admit, they've stood their ground. They have been unshaken despite all the incoming attacks. They've been unshaken. I'm like, Massie Greene 2028 is where I'm at. But so now Marjorie Taylor Greene is doing media rounds as the right-wing establishment is trying to blackball her, and the right-wing establishment is trying to keep her out now. So she's now going on liberal shows and CNN and MSNBC doing interviews. And so now the Republican Party is attacking her because Democrats are cheering her on. And I'm sitting here and I'm saying, since when do we not want to get along? Look, I got all my issues with the left. I mean, quite frankly, I probably have more issues with the Democrat Party and the left than 99% of people, 99.9% of people. from what I've dealt with. But it's like I can still sit back and say, hey, if we agree on something, then we agree on something. Let's at least embrace that. But no. So now Marjorie Taylor Greene being pushed out of the Republican Party because Democrats are celebrating it. So here's an example. You may have seen some of this. As a Democrat, I think it's insane that Marjorie Taylor Greene is currently doing a better job of working for Americans than John Fetterman. So it's all these kind of big Democrat accounts and big contributors to left-wing media, and they're celebrating Marjorie Taylor Greene because she's America first, which is ironic because I don't know the left. Has the left ever been America first? But see, this is where the right wing is getting it wrong. This is why I said, if you don't decouple from the Middle East, you will lose the midterms. And what else did I say? This is my next big one. This is the next Babe Ruth, pointing to the bleachers where I'm about to put this home run ball. One of my 714. The winner of the 2028 presidential election will be the one that has the most effective communication against the wars in the Middle East. And you know what that might mean in 2028? That might mean specifically Israel. That might mean that. I don't know. Obama won for being against the Middle East wars. Trump won for being against the Middle East wars. And whoever runs in 2028 and has the most effective policy and communication against the Middle East wars will win the 2028 presidential election. Guaranteed. And it'll be the same people, if you really want to go back, it'll be the same people that told you Obama couldn't win because they all thought it would be Hillary. It'll be the same people that told you Donald Trump couldn't win because he wasn't part of the establishment. And it'll be the same people telling you, whether it's Thomas Massey, Marjorie Taylor Greene, or anybody that comes out against the wars in the Middle East, they can't win. You don't get it, do you? You don't get it. You still don't get it. Democrats will vote for a Republican if they're against the wars in the Middle East. Republicans will vote for a Democrat if they're against the wars in the Middle East. And look no further than Obama and Trump. It's already happened, folks. So really, it's not even a prediction. I mean, I guess it's a prediction, but it's already happened twice. It will happen a third time in 2028. The communication might be different, but it will happen again. It will. And it's only a matter of time before you see it. It's only a matter of time. But now most people, I think, are starting to come around. I think most people are starting to see it now. That's what I think is going on anyway. That's how I see it. All right, closing out the first hour today. I think we'll go to the cabinet meeting next. I think we'll go to some of the clips in the cabinet meeting today. Hey, big shout out to Blackout Coffee, my friends over at Blackout Coffee. Folks, if you haven't gone over there yet to take advantage of this, please do right now. It's the official coffee of the Owen Report. If you go to blackoutcoffee.com/Owen and use coupon code Owen, you will get 20% off your first order. At least take advantage of that. I think you'll end up loving this coffee just like I did, just like I do. But I'm telling you right now, at least go take advantage of this. Why not get 20% off your next bag of coffee? Your first order, blackoutcoffee.com/Owen, coupon code for 20% off your first order. At least take advantage of the coupon code here. At least take advantage of the sale. But my guess is you're going to try this coffee and you're going to love it just like I do. But I guess it's a fair warning. This coffee is so good that you might be drinking more coffee than you ever drank. It's kind of where I'm at now. And I finally got my coffee machine working now. I finally figured out. It's like I'm pretty tech savvy, but some things make me feel like a boomer. This damn coffee machine. But I got it figured out, so I'm drinking coffee by the pot now. It's just fantastic. And I really do love their it just so happens they sent me this mug. It just so happens it kind of matches the aesthetics of the show with the black and gold here. But I love this little mug too. Love that little mug. Blackoutcoffee.com/Owen. Take advantage of this, the official coffee of the Owen Report. Big shout out to our friends at Blackout Coffee. Great people over there and great coffee. All right, let's find out, guys. Place your bets. Place your bets as we close out the hour and we're about to play some more music. Place your bets. Will we have an audio issue with this new music, or will we actually be able to listen to the music here without having to plug our ears like there's nails on the chalkboard? I guess we'll find out here shortly. First hour in the books. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Owen Report on the Win Network.
And I want to go to some of those clips, and it kind of goes with like the whole magic is gone analysis here, but I'm going to play some of those clips. I was pointing this out. The stock market is way down today. And remember, yesterday, there were warnings that the stock market was going to go down. And they're anticipating a big crash anytime now, but it's down across the board. I don't think this is the big one. In fact, let me look at something real quick here. Because, once you're invested into the markets, everything kind of changes. It's down huge today, folks. My goodness. Everything is down. I don't think anything's up. Looks like everything is down today. Looks like the entire market is down about 5% today. I don't think this is the big crash, but looks like crypto might be down too. Yeah. Some cryptos are up. Most crypto is down. So people are getting out, but I don't think this is the big one. I think this is a dump, and then there's going to be a big pump, and then they could crash it. But I don't think this is their last money grab. I think you got pumping, and I think you got another pump and dump session going on. That's what I think. I think we're going to have a huge dump. Prices will go down. So the big fish, the big whales, they dumped. Now everybody else is dumping, and then they're going to rebuy low, and then everybody else is going to rebuy, and then it's going to go way up, and then they're going to dump again, and that could be a bigger one. I don't think this is the big one yet, but eventually I do think that that's going to happen because they've made so much money. They have made so much money. The whales have made so much money. That's why Trump keeps saying it, because it's true. The whales have made so much money in the stock market since Trump got in, it's probably the most they've ever made, quite frankly. And I mean, call it insider trading or call it good instincts, but it's like you could say that the administration, you could say it's the most transparent administration of all time. You may or may not agree with that. But as far as the market is concerned, for public consumption, if you follow what this administration is doing like a hawk, you can ride the waves of the whales. Because it's no secret, the formula here. But if you're in the know, or you've got somebody in the administration and you know, hey, they're about to cut this deal for AI, they're about to cut this deal for tech, they're about to cut this deal for rare earth, they're about to have this CEO to the White House, you make that investment, and 24 hours later, you're up 5, 10, 15, 20%. Well, what's 10% of $1 million? You can make it in a day. And this has been going on since Trump got into the office. So I think this is a dump before another big pump. But you do wonder if they're not going to pull everything out after they've made huge amounts of cash. And then they just decide they're going to pull it all out. So we'll have to see about that. We'll have to see about that. But it's all down. 10 of 11 S&P sectors down. I mean, it looks like 90% of the market or more is down. Crypto is down. But I don't think this is the big one. I don't think this is the big one. When you see like a minus 2,000 or something or more, that's when there'll be panic selling. Most of these people have been through a minus 800, minus 5%. Okay. Most people probably won't panic sell. You start to get to minus 10, minus 20, minus 2,000 in the Dow, then people start panic selling. Then you get a crash. Then you can't get out fast enough. So I don't know if we're quite there yet. So let's go to some of these clips from the cabinet meeting yesterday.
Is not just.
Let's start here. They're talking about we're going to have to do some audio monitoring here. So if we have an issue, we'll pull out of it. But this is the cabinet meeting yesterday. They're talking about going after the Antifa money.
Just a story about violence and chaos, as you alluded to, Mr. President. This is a money story. And at the Government Accountability Institute, my colleague and I, Peter Schweitzer and our team, we followed the money, and we followed it to the top of what we call the protest.
By the way, Peter Schweitzer is a great investigator.
Industrial complex, Riot Inc., and we found a network of NGOs. It's not just the Soros network, the Open Society network. It's other funding networks, the Arabella funding network, the Tides funding network, Neville Roy Singham and his network, Foreign Cash. And it's also big left-wing funders. Some of them are not citizens of this country.
You know what's funny about this as you're listening? It's like this is all independent investigators. This is all independent journalists that do this stuff. And it's like they do all of the legwork. And then what does Pam Bondi do with it? So it's like this is the work that Bondi should have already had done. So he's laying it all out. So, okay, we know where the money is coming from. We know where the money is going. We know what it's being used for. Here it is laid out in plain words. And it's like, where is the DOJ? Is Pam Bondi aware of any of this? Does she have any clue what's going on?
Mr. Hans-Jörg Wyss of Switzerland, they're pouring money into this entire ecosystem. And so I want to share 3 money facts with you about what we call Riot Inc. Number one, like any corporation, Riot Inc. has many divisions. It doesn't just have the Antifa boots on the ground division. It has PR divisions. It has marketing divisions. It has a very well-funded legal division to get these boots on the ground back on the streets as quickly as possible. but it does have those investors that I mentioned. Number two, we have identified dozens of radical organizations, not just the decentralized Antifa organizations, but dozens of radical organizations that have received more than $100 million from the Riot Inc. investors. These would be the lawyer groups. These would be the groups that advocate.
Riot Inc. I like that. Riot Inc.
More than $100 million from the Riot Inc. investors. These would be the lawyer groups. These would be the groups that advocate for calling good, honest Americans fascists, etc. And then three, I think the most shocking thing is that we have found that more than $100 million in U.S. taxpayer funding has flowed into these funding networks, including at least $4 million to these very groups themselves, not just Antifa types, but there was an event in Atlanta called Stop Cop City. Over 60 rioters were charged with domestic terrorism. These groups received money for that from both the billionaire class as well as taxpayer money. So one other thing, this money helps fund the decentralized crowdfunding platforms. These are ways that Antifa, the John Brown Gun Club of Elm Fork, which had links to that attack on the ICE facility, the Socialist Rifle Association, and just because they don't have LLCs or EIN numbers doesn't mean they can't get paid. Some of these funding platforms, crowdfunding platforms, are funded by this network that we call Riot Inc. So, again, I want to thank you for your leadership, for the whole cabinet's leadership on this. We're going to keep following the money and appreciate everything you're doing, sir.
Do you know the name of any of the funders? Do you know the names? Because if you do, I'd like you to give them to Cash or Pam.
Absolutely.
Or Christy.
Yeah, we'll do that.
As soon as you can. That's all of you. Because you probably know the names after a certain period of time. You tend to find out. But these are people that do not have good intention for the country, and that's treasonous probably. So if you could, very important, if you could do that, it would be great. Nobody would know better than you. You'll figure it out.
Notice how Trump said Cash before he said Pam. But again, you have to ask, at what point is Pam Bondi's grace period over? To me, it already is over. She's the attorney general. That's an independent investigator. And he literally has the entire flow chart. He knows the organizations. He knows the dollar amounts. He knows the names. And Trump is like, he's like, gee, I should hire this guy for attorney general. Yeah. How is the independent investigator able to lay all of that out for President Trump, and Pam Bondi hasn't done it yet? Or Kash Patel. But it's Bondi that promised to do it. It's Bondi that took the lead on it. At what point is Bondi's grace period up? For me, it already is. But at what point is it just like, what is she doing? Because to me, it's like, if Trump already knew that there was something going on, or he already had assurances from Bondi that there was stuff going on behind the scenes, then he wouldn't say that. He wouldn't turn around and say, hey, can you give that information to my attorney general? I don't know what the hell she's doing, but she doesn't have it, but this is incredible. You just laid it out for me. She never did. So can you give it to her, please? It'd be nice. Honestly, that's embarrassing for Pam Bondi. That is embarrassing. Not as much for Patel because he hasn't been near as vocal as Bondi. He hasn't made the assurances that Bondi has made. But, Bondi was supposed to start that project 2 months ago. And she delivered nothing. The independent investigator here just delivered an entire trove of deliverables. Bondi didn't deliver a single one. And so President Trump is sitting there like, wow, I'm sure in his head, he's like, should have hired this guy. So I'm just curious, at what point does Pam Bondi's grace period end? At what point? Here's another one. They talk about the money from the cabinet meeting yesterday.
President, the American people gave you a sweeping mandate in your victory in this election cycle, and they demanded safety and security for our citizens. And your administration, with your leadership, has provided us with the resources that we need, which is a whole of government approach to go after criminals absolutely everywhere, not just outside of this country, but within this country. And that takes a whole of government approach. The interagency seated up here with the Department of Homeland Security, our Attorney General, our Deputy Attorney General, and your White House staffers, including Stephen Miller's leadership, has allowed.
So let me make an observation here. It's so weird, isn't it? And this isn't the first time that we could say we've witnessed this phenomenon. We just expected different with this administration. But it's just like Kash Patel has basically said nothing but platitudes. He's said nothing of any substance. Everything he's saying is general approach things. There's nothing of substance here. The independent investigator just laid out a substantial network of Riot Inc. He had all the deliverables, of which Trump has gotten nothing from Bondi. And here's Patel, who's just like, yeah, we all need to be doing something about this. And, we all got to get involved. And, we're all doing great work. And it's just like, okay, cool. Where's any substance here? Nothing is tracking. And it does not give me any faith, folks, when Trump says, hey, can you share this information with my FBI? Can you share this information with my DOJ? They don't seem to have it. How'd you get it? I would have fired Pam Bondi right there and he gave him a job. I said, wow, I'm hearing this for the first time, actually. This is pretty important stuff, I'd say. Wow, pretty good. In fact, I've never heard this before. You've got the names. Yes, you've got the names. You know the organizations. You've traced the money to the riots. Yes? Wow. I'm hearing this for the first time. Pretty important stuff. Pretty incredible work. Would you like a job? Yes, you'd like a job. Okay. Well, I think we're going to go ahead and make a move right now. We're going to make some news. Pam Bondi, I'm sorry, but you're fired. You're fired, Pam. Maybe you can take this guy's job as an independent investigator, but you didn't deliver much as the Attorney General, so not so sure. Not so sure you'll be good at that. But you seem to have the information, sir, so I'm going to go ahead and appoint you. We're going to do a recess appointment, actually. Recess appointment. Recess appointment. Recess confirmation. We're going to go ahead and slide you over here. In fact, if we could we just, Pam Bondi's chair, if you would, Pam. Thank you. You can go over there, actually. You, Mr. Sir, please come over here to my left. It's wonderful work you've done, actually. It's very good. Very good. You want to be the Attorney General? You'd be pretty good. Yeah, you did a pretty good job. That's wonderful. That's great. Thank you, Pam. Thank you, Pam. We won't be needing you anymore. We're going to bring him in here. He's gotten what we're looking for, actually. He's got the names. We can go with this. We can go with this. Thank you, Pam. You did fine, but this guy seems to be better at the job. And so I really don't need him to give you this information. I can just make him the Attorney General at this point. So thank you, Pam. Thank you. Come on over here, sir. So it doesn't give me any hope here that it appears Trump is hearing all of this from the first time. And again, how embarrassing could this be? Pam Bondi needs to go. Patel and Bongino, I say stick with them as long as you can. I don't think you're going to do much better, or maybe you can. But I think they deserve more patience, if you will. But how embarrassing. This guy just laid out the entire thing. And there's the FBI director, and there's the Attorney General, and it's just like a deer in the headlights.
Allowed us to go out there and map out these networks. What we are doing at the FBI is simple. It does not require.
You know what I'm saying? That guy just mapped them out. The independent investigator just mapped them out. You guys have been talking about mapping them out for 4 months. He actually did it. And he presented all of it to the entire cabinet. And you're still talking about doing it.
rocket science. We are following the money. Money never lies. And that's what it's going to take to bring down this network of organized criminal thugs, gangbangers, and yes, domestic terrorists, because that's what they are. They are harming everyday citizens in every single one of our communities. And the folks you see here on the right and left, they're some of the bravest men and women we have today. They're reporting the stories live time because the mainstream media won't cover it. They're putting their lives on the line. They're standing up for the flag. The least we can do is stand up for them. So you have my thanks. I read more of your stories than I do theirs because you guys are putting out the truth. And we deserve a country where you are protected as equally as they are. We, in this FBI, will go after.
At least give Cash credit. He's like, yeah, you guys do a better job than anybody. Yeah, maybe including me.
With the criminals with a vengeance. We will not rest until we find every single seed, money, donor, organization, and funding mechanism that we have. And I want to echo the Secretary's comments on Scott Besson, who's allowing us to map out these networks through their financial criminal activities, which has been going on for decades. And I would like to remind the American public, they built this disease temple of corruption over decades. And in 8 short months, Mr. President, you have crippled their foundation because of your leadership here, because of the interagency, because of people like Deputy Attorney General Blanche, and because of Attorney General Pam Bondi.
Wait, we've crippled the network because it doesn't look it. They're still attacking ICE agents. They're still attacking ICE facilities. They're still protesting and rioting. So I don't know. To say it's been crippled is a little, I don't think that's happened yet.
Fearless leadership to go after criminals wherever they are. They will not be able to hide. They were able to hide and conspire with prior administrations, and we are exposing their corruption from within. And we will go to every single city in this country under Operation Summer Heat and the other operations we are doing at the FBI to bring these criminals to justice. We will arrest every single one of them from whatever perch you sit in, private or public, no matter how your goal or your ambition is. It will be crushed by the Constitution because the American people deserve law and order, and that's what we're going to give you.
All right, how do we feel about that? Keep hearing it. Haven't seen the big arrests yet. Keep hearing it, though. People are going to get a little impatient. They're going to get a little impatient, as if they haven't already. Let's go to Pam Bondi at the cabinet meeting. Or I believe this was after the cabinet meeting, I believe is what we're looking at here. Let's see. But here, let's hear from Pam Bondi now.
Antifa beats journalists. Antifa attacks our police stations. They attack our courthouses. They dox our law enforcement.
This is kind of funny. I have a decent idea of what's going on here. Now I wasn't there, but you know, I have friends that were there. And it's like they set up this deal where I think Pam Bondi was basically, they were all told to do this. And they set up the deal. They had the cabinet meeting and they had the independent journalists there. And then they had it set up, and Trump's like, all right, you're going to get out of this meeting. You're going to walk through that door. There's going to be a camera set up. We're going to have a social media team. I need you to stand in front of that camera and say something good, okay? Tell the people you're doing something. They don't think you're doing anything, Pam. Okay, so go out there and shoot a little video, all right? Just tell them something, please, okay? Can you do that for me? So, okay, we got it set up. Go ahead. Go ahead, Pam. Yeah, she's ready.
Officers, no more. They are a terrorist group, and we are coming after them.
We are here at the White House today to unmask Antifa, to follow the money all the way to the top. If you want to get to the bottom of who is fomenting this chaos and violence in our country, you must follow the money.
I was a mainstream reporter in Seattle for 10 years before I quit mainstream media, in part due to its refusal to acknowledge the dangers of Antifa and radical left-wing violence.
Part of the problem that we have is that a lot of people refuse to believe that Antifa is real. It is just a made-up thing, but I have seen them. They are real, they are dangerous, and they are violent.
They are an organized, systemic, international criminal enterprise. And what the FBI is going to do is trace the money, follow the funds, and find every single person that was involved in funding the riots.
So here's the problem, and he's kind of getting it here when he talks about the funding. The average Antifa member is a nobody. The average Antifa member lives in an apartment, a condo, their parents' basement, whatever. The average Antifa member is some disenfranchised leftist that has a bunch of probably personal issues, political issues, hate in their heart, whatever. I mean, folks, they go out to these events and they take plastic trash can lids as shields. Okay? They're using trash can lids as shields. So that's kind of the problem. It's like, oh, well, you know, they don't think Antifa is real or whatever. Yeah, they get in a mob and law enforcement isn't allowed to do their job. They can do destruction. Okay. They have trash can lids as shields. So you try to sell this thing like, oh, Antifa, this giant terrorist group. And it's like, okay, yeah, there is an organization, there is the funding, but it's all the people at the top. The low-level people that show up in the streets, they don't know much, if anything at all. They get a text message, they get an email. They hear about this protest, they see it on TV. They see there's no law enforcement. They see they're out there rioting, burning things, attacking cops. So they're like, well, I want in on the fun. So they, you know, leave their apartment and go to Walmart, buy a $30 trash can, turn the lid into a shield, and go out, you know, with their friends and commit some crimes. But yeah, it's like there is kind of this disconnect, and it's like, yeah, it's kind of hard to take them seriously because at the end of the day, they're just caught up in something that's way beyond what they probably even understand or comprehend. But they get to go out and, you know, commit some street crime and feel tough doing it. They wear bike helmet. I mean, it's just like, so it's this hard thing. Yeah, most people just see that and it's just like, oh, these are just random liberals, leftists, whatever. Disenfranchised, mentally ill, deranged, drug addicts, whatever it is. Many of them already prior criminals. Many of them are just people that just like to commit crimes. They don't even have a political ideology. They just see a mob of people. They go out and they want to commit a crime. They just look at it as a distraction to go do some crimes. So yeah, it's like, oh, well, America doesn't really take it seriously. Well, it's because it's hard to take a bunch of low-level leftist out in the streets in a bike helmet with a trash can lid as a shield. Yeah, it's hard to take them seriously. So that's where you're running into the problem. So yeah, arrest the street criminals, arrest the people committing crimes, but they're essentially just patsies. They're essentially just useful idiots. So yeah, until you actually go after the organizational flow chart and the funding of this stuff, most Americans are not going to take it seriously because they can't take these leftists seriously. They got rainbow hair. They weigh 400 pounds. They don't look like they've showered in weeks. They're carrying around wiffle ball bats and skateboards. It's pretty unintimidating. Yeah, they get in a mob. Law enforcement stands down. They get in a mob. They do damage. But yeah, most people see that and they're like, what? It just doesn't make sense. So until you take down the money, it's going to remain this way. And we've been hearing this for years. It went on for 4 years. For 4 years in the first administration, this went on.
And the violent acts of criminality that they're perpetrating on our street.
I've watched Antifa brutally beat, harass, and threaten Americans in the street, but all of that ends with the Trump administration.
I was brutally attacked and almost killed by Antifa in the streets of Seattle. All of my colleagues have been attacked. I can't think of a single one who hasn't. Violence against journalists and police officers in our streets can't stand.
Just days ago, I was in the Portland jailhouse, and now I'm in the White House. This administration is built different, and Antifa's days are numbered.
And I want to thank President Donald Trump for designating Antifa a terrorist organization, and I'm looking forward to the FBI and the DOJ hunting down these people like the terrorists that they are.
All I gotta say, it's a bad day to be Antifa.
And Antifa's days of using violence and intimidation against their political opposition are over.
And I've continued to report on them over the years, despite the threats of violence and actual violence that's happened, because I owe a thank you to this country, the United States, for settling my parents who were victims of communism in Vietnam.
1 month ago, Charlie Kirk was murdered by a violent leftist. We all saw it, and we all saw thousands of leftists celebrate it.
We all saw it. What did you see? I didn't see it. I saw a video of a guy running across the roof that doesn't make any sense.
Antifa symbols were found on the bullet casings of the gun used to shoot and kill my friend.
We won't take it anymore. President Trump is not going to stand for it. And I'm so grateful that we have a leader in the White House that understands how we need to fight these sophisticated networks and how we need to take these terrorists out.
Folks, I'm trying to be nice here, okay? I'm trying to be nice. I'm not a black pillar. I'm just a realist. Okay? I've been hearing this for 8 years. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I can't get enthusiastic. I'm sorry if I can't sell you that things are going to be different. I hope they will. I'd like to think it's true. Sorry, I just can't. I just can't do it. I just can't do it. I was assured by the FBI that they were going to arrest the people that swatted me. Nothing. Nothing. Don't even respond to me anymore. Okay. I had Antifa pointing guns at me in 2017. I had Antifa pointing guns at me, throwing projectiles at me. I was wearing bulletproof vests going to these things in 2017. Okay? Okay? So, pardon me if this just has very little meaning to me. Pardon me. Prove me wrong. I'd love it. I'd love to see someone come out and say, see, it's different this time. I hope so. It needs to be. Great. I'll celebrate it. But I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I've been dealing with these people since 2017. I've had guns pointed at me by Antifa since 2017. I had guns pointed at me with laser sights just a couple months ago from getting swatted, and nothing has ever been done. So, pardon me if I just have lost patience and hope. Pardon me. Call me a black pillar, whatever you want. That's my reality. That's my reality. That's the reality. And then I have to sit here and hear, oh, I saw a leftist murder Charlie Cook. Where did you see that? You are the only one that's seen that. Nobody else has seen who pulled the trigger. Nobody has seen a video of Tyler Robinson shooting a gun. Nobody has seen that video. And if you have, can you tell us that you've seen it? Can you share that with the world? That'd be nice. Wouldn't that be great to put a lot of the rumors, a lot of the suspicions to bed if we actually saw that video, which they have it. The same video from behind of him running across the roof. He takes the shot, allegedly, in that video. Why haven't we seen it? Oh, I'm sorry, folks. I just can't do it. I'm not going to do it. And I guess that's why I don't get the invites, because they know I'm not going to do it. They know I'm not going to go along with it. They've just changed the message. They've just changed the method. Nothing else has changed. Just the message and the delivery of it. That's all. Nothing else has changed. I saw Stephen Paddock shoot 68 people in Las Vegas. Really? Nobody else did. So, pardon me if I don't get too excited about this. I'll be excited when there's results. Is that fair? Is that fair? Get excited, Owen. They're talking about it. They've been talking about it for 10 years. Come on, Owen. It's different now. When it's different, I'll let you know. Folks, they pointed guns at me. Nobody was arrested. They assaulted me. Nobody was arrested. They swatted me. No one was arrested. They death threatened me. No one was arrested. So I guess that's just my experience, but that's still the reality. So, hey, I'll get excited when something happens. Not going to get excited for some social media event. And I like those guys, by the way. Those are my friends. I like all those guys. But I'm not playing propaganda games. Sorry, not doing it. Not doing it here. As I said, and this is just instinctual, but you're always going to get this from me. It's very instinctual for me. I just counter signal propaganda. And it comes from everywhere. It comes from the left. It comes from the right. Propaganda comes from America. It comes from foreign countries. Propaganda comes from everywhere. What we do here is we counter the propaganda. Because if somebody is propagandizing you, there's something else going on. And if it can't be applied logically, if it can't be applied universally by logic, then it's propaganda. But hey, that's great. You got to go to the White House. You got the big viral video push. It's good. It's good. I'll get excited when there's actually arrests. I'll get excited when something actually changes. Is that fair? Is that fair? Or am I a black pillar? Or is that fair? What else do we have in the news? Let's see here. Democrat troop pay bill blocked in House amid shutdown. GOP leaders seeking to keep pressure on Democrats to reopen the whole government. So the Republicans stopped the troops from getting paid. Okay. Stopping the Epstein files, stopping the troops from getting paid. I don't know. Maybe the government, maybe the Republicans want the government to stay shut down. I guarantee Trump will give back pay to the military. I have no doubt about that. The rest of the federal workers, I wouldn't be so sure. But I wonder if now the Republicans want the government shutdown to continue for the same political reasons of everything else that happens in D.C. It's all left versus right. Is it good for America? Who cares? It hurts the left. It hurts the right. Government shutdown on track to extend into next week as White House says federal firings have begun. That's great news. So they are using this to start firing the useless people. IRS furloughs nearly half its staff amid shutdown, prompting chaos and confusion. Beautiful. Now here's what we have to look out for. We don't want AI to take over the IRS, which they already have implemented AI throughout the IRS. And that's why a lot of people get these audit notifications, is it's just some AI thing. The agency said in an updated shutdown contingency plan that it was furloughing more than 34,400 of its 74,300 employees. Most of these employees are the ones that Joe Biden hired after 2022. They may be out of a job permanently. Abolish the IRS. FBI fires special agents who worked on Jack Smith's probe into Trump. The agents were fired after Kash Patel disclosed that Smith's team obtained phone records of members of Congress, which the Smith report itself referred to. So they've been fired for their role in Jack Smith's Arctic Frost operation. Is firing enough? Is firing enough, or do we need something a little more permanent? A little more closing, if you know what I mean. So, okay, we talked about the stock market a second ago. Gold continues to climb and climb and climb, and it looks like it's benefiting China bigly, and it looks like they may even be behind some of this. China's gold reserve is at its highest level in a decade, and it's more than that. It's astronomical. China is buying up gold. Russia bought up gold about 5 to 10 years ago. They were stocking gold. Now China is stocking gold even more so. Gold's record rally is helping China challenge Trump and the U.S. dollar. So the gold rally has been strong for China. And if you look at this, if you want to see a real accurate depiction on where China's gold reserves are at, this graph I have here, maybe I should screen share it. It's a little tough to see on my side monitor here. Let me give you a screen share of this. That's China's gold reserves. What is China preparing for? What is China getting ready for? And where's the audit of Fort Knox, by the way? Where's the Fort Knox audit, by the way? So Trump came out and made this statement. Some very strange things are happening in China. They are becoming very hostile and sending letters to countries throughout the world that they want to impose export controls on each and every element of production having to do with rare earths and virtually anything else they can think of, even if it's not manufactured in China. Nobody has ever seen anything like this, but essentially it would clog the markets and make life difficult for virtually every country in the world, especially for China. We have been contacted by other countries who are extremely angry at this great trade hostility, which came out of nowhere. I don't think it came out of nowhere. I think Trump was making good deals with China, whether China liked the deals or not. They were doing real negotiations, and I think Trump abandoned it. That's what I think. I think the Trump administration abandoned its talks with China because Israel was the priority. So once Israel became the priority, Trump stopped talking to China, and they said, screw your trade deal. We're going to do our own thing now. Yeah. How's that working for us? How's that benefiting for us? Maybe we should prioritize China. I think we should probably prioritize the country of more than 1 billion people that has the rare earths and most of the trade deals. We should have probably stayed focused on that, but nope, not this administration. So yeah, I bet China was like, hey, okay, we're doing deals, we're cutting deals, we're talking every day. And then the Trump administration disappeared and started dealing with Israel, and China said, all right, we're done. Good luck. Maybe Israel will bail us out. Yeah, I'm sure. Trump says, continuing, our relationship with China over the past 6 months has been a very good one, thereby making this move on trade an even more surprising one. You abandoned them. I've always felt that they've been lying in wait, and now, as usual, I've been proven right. There is no way China should be allowed to hold the world captive, but that seems to have been their plan for quite some time, starting with the magnets and other elements that they have quietly amassed into somewhat of a monopoly position. A rather sinister and hostile move, to say the least. But the U.S. has monopoly positions also, much stronger and more far-reaching than China's. I have just not chosen to use them. There was never a reason for me to do so until now. The letter they sent is many pages long and details with great specificity each and every element that they want to withhold from other nations. Things that were routine are no longer routine at all. I have not spoken to President Xi because there was no reason to do so. There it is. They abandoned him. This administration abandoned the conversation with China because everything became about Israel, folks. And so now China just stepped back and said, okay, fine. We'll make you talk to us again. We'll play that game. We'll go ahead. We'll tell the whole world we're going to sit back. We're going to withhold. And guess what? You're going to contact us, aren't you? You're going to respond now, aren't you? Yeah. Things that were routine are no longer routine at all. I have not spoken to President Xi because there was no reason to do so. No, because you were busy handling Netanyahu's disastrous business. This was a real surprise, not only to me, but to the leaders of the free world. I was to meet President Xi in 2 weeks at APEC in South Korea, but now there seems to be no reason to do so. Oh, great. What a horrible move. What a horrible oversight. The Chinese letters were especially inappropriate in that this was the day that after 3,000 years of bedlam and fighting, there is peace in the Middle East. No, it's you abandoning the negotiations with China to only focus on the Middle East. That's why this is happening. And China probably doesn't give a damn. I wonder if that timing was coincidental. Depending on what China says about the hostile order that they have just put out, I will be forced as president of the United States of America to financially counter their move. For every element that they have been using and able to monopolize, we have two. Do you believe that? I never thought it would come to this, but perhaps, as with all things, the time has come. Ultimately, though potentially painful, it will be a very good thing in the end for the USA. Folks, this is bad. One of the policies that we are calculating at this moment is a massive increase on tariffs on Chinese products coming into the United States of America. There are many other countermeasures that are likewise under serious consideration. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Folks, this is bad. And this is why, again, it's like, even if you love Israel and you think it's the greatest country on earth and all this stuff, okay, fine. Strategically, it has been horrible. It has been a geopolitical disaster to prioritize Israel, specifically over China. And that's not to say China's an ally or, whatever. I'm just saying. So now, and look, we've been getting screwed on trade, but we're not ready to do this, folks. All of these plants that you keep hearing about, all of this manufacturing and all the money that's coming in, it hasn't, the tires aren't on the track yet, folks. It's not there. And if we're not getting raw materials from China, they're never going to be there, by the way. And so China's just like, dude, we are about to make all these deals. We are about to negotiate trade and tariff and figure it all out here. And you left the table to go squabble in the sand again, to go squabble in the sand of the Middle East. So China's like, fine, we're out. Gold up, bricks back. Go play in the sand of the Middle East, Trump. We're done. And if this goes through like this, folks, your prices are only going to go up because now the trade deals are going to be hostile. Now China's going to look at this as hostile, as Trump is saying it's hostile. Now, there's a chance China can calm down and say, hey, just come back to the table with us. And maybe now that this peace deal is done, they can. But what happened? What happened about 4 months ago, if you recall? Trump was about to have a deal with China, and then who came to Washington, D.C.? Netanyahu. And then what did we do? We abandoned the negotiating table with China, and we started to try to negotiate with Iran. Do you remember that? And it was a big story at the time. It's a huge story at the time. And now it looks like the chickens are coming home to roost. But this isn't the first time this has happened. It's like, oh, okay, we've got a deal done in the Middle East. Now Trump can go back to the table with China. And the last time that happened, the Middle East reared its ugly head again, and Netanyahu came in and said, we need you to attack Iran for us. And we abandoned the negotiations again. And maybe China was like, all right, we'll wait. It looks like they're done waiting. And you'll continue to hear, oh, well, it was, we have to support our greatest ally. We have to prioritize Israel, all this other stuff. And it's like, you do realize, because they'll talk about China all day long as the adversary. Well, now you're going to really find out. Now you're going to really find out if China wants to be an adversary. Our political leaders have put us in such a hole on trade and resources. We don't have the leverage. The manufacturing isn't built. The materials and resources are not readily available. And if China wants to pump bricks back up, I think Russia would probably be willing to join them. Now that Trump wants to support Ukraine again. India will probably be willing to join them. Brazil might be willing to join them. But at least Israel destroyed Gaza. At least we pretended to destroy Iran's nuclear facilities, right, guys? At least we did that because that was so important. Only for Qatar to set up an airbase in Idaho. Only for us to send 200 U.S. troops to Gaza. Isn't that so great? So glad we prioritized that over trade with China. Such a great move. Thanks, Susie Wiles. Thanks a lot. What a horrible move. Maybe Trump can save that deal. It's the only chance we have now is that Trump can save that deal. Otherwise, we're in big trouble, folks. Not good. Not good. All right, we got some other odds and ends in the headlines. Let's see if there's anything over here we need to address. We don't need that. We got some Nobel Peace Prize news. Maybe we'll cover that later. We might have time to do it now. All right, we can do that now. So Maria Corina Machado. You ever heard of her? Probably not. Probably not until today. You never heard of her. Maria Corina Machado. What did she do to deserve the Nobel Peace Prize? Well, she's the CIA asset, or I'm not saying she is a CIA agent, but probably a CIA asset of the West. She's accepted U.S. taxpayer money to fund anti-government NGOs, plotted coups, and agitated for the direct military intervention in Venezuela to achieve regime change. By the way, the military is basically getting ready, it looks like, to act in Venezuela. Maybe it's for the drug cartels. Maybe it's for something else. They've been trying to get Maduro out of power for years, which, love him or hate him, the West is all over that. The CIA is all over that. They've tried multiple times to run a coup against him, and they failed. That's no endorsement of Maduro, but we know why they're doing it, because of Venezuela's oil. That's why they're doing it. They want that oil. I think it was Guaido was the last one, wasn't it? Guaido, that they were trying to run a coup in Venezuela and put Guaido in, and that failed. So now they're back to this Bushite. She's a Bush acolyte. So they're building something up. To me, this is a sign they're building up to go into Venezuela. Here's Max Blumenthal reporting. The Nobel Committee has decided to make the case for Trump's war on Venezuela, giving its Peace Prize to Maria Corina Machado, a U.S. government-funded regime change activist who's helped lead failed military coups, violated street riots, and has likely promised her country's oil and mineral wealth to a consortium of MAGA-aligned billionaires in exchange for financing her political arsonism. This icon of peace has even appealed to Benjamin Netanyahu to help her lead a military invasion of Venezuela. Giving the Nobel Peace Prize to Machado is a green light for regime change war on Venezuela and then Cuba. But the decision is consistent with the committee's role as a soft power instrument of the Western Empire. Just recall its award to Obama at the beginning of his first term, granting him infinite legitimacy in advance of his destruction of Libya, escalation of wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, and facilitation of Gaza's decimation. Given that nothing has happened in Machado's career without the support and guidance of Washington, D.C., the committee's decision must be seen as the result of another Western operation, a coup in Oslo to pave the way for one in Caracas. Now, time will tell if that ends up where this goes, but wouldn't that make sense? Why else would this woman get the Nobel Peace Prize unless they were setting something else up? But yes, she is an acolyte of Israel. She already said if she becomes the leader of Venezuela, they will immediately set up an embassy in Jerusalem and support Israel. And it's very well known that Maduro is very anti-Israel. So give her the Nobel Peace Prize, run the coup in Venezuela, justify it, and then have the most pro-Israel regime in South America be Venezuela. You could argue Milei in Argentina is now the most pro-Israel, but they don't have near the resources that Venezuela does. So it would be much more important. But of course, what's new? Hey, you want political power? You want to run a coup in your country? Well, there's a couple things we need you to do for us. You know, always a couple things. Always deals going on. But back to the points from earlier. Kash Patel says, there simply cannot be and will not be different rules for different people. One system of law and order from this FBI. That was yesterday at 5 p.m. At 4:30, Pam Bondi said, one tier of justice for all Americans. So they all put out the same statement, the exact same quote, the exact same time. Because why? Because they have to. Because it's not actually happening. If you had one tier of justice for all Americans, and you were arresting deep state criminals and street thugs, you wouldn't have to make these statements. You wouldn't have to have these cabinet meetings at the White House. You would be doing it. It would be done. Statements not needed. Action. Results. But we don't have that. So statements are needed. And by the way, this is probably not illegal because there's all kinds of different apps. You can track and trace police and, flight logs and everything. But now apparently Ring, the doorbell app, Ring, is now apparently somehow tied into these anti-ICE groups and is sending out notifications when ICE is in the neighborhood. So Ring is now aiding and abetting in the anti-ICE terrorism. Like I said, there's probably illegal out because it is a government institution and you can, there's police forums, police scanners and trackers and everything else. So I don't think there's probably nothing illegal. I'm sure they talked to their legal team before doing it. But now Ring, now the doorbell app is getting in on the anti-ICE terrorism. Unbelievable. Unbelievable that this is going on. But here we are. Here we are. All right, folks, we're about to close out the second hour of our show today. Folks, remember, at mypatriotsupply.com/Owen, the winter special package is here. Now, look, if you don't have emergency food, that's obviously something you need to take care of. So you need to get your emergency food. But this winter prep special 3-month emergency food kit with $400 in free gifts. This is a totally separate deal that you can't miss. Specifically because of this new little thing that they have here, which is pretty big if you're in an emergency. And that's the Vesta off-grid space heater. That's right. It's a space heater that doesn't use electricity. So if the power is out, it can still provide you heat. It runs on something called canned heat, which is an indoor safe fuel. With a Vesta stashed in my closet, I know I can keep warm no matter what. And it doubles as a stove to boil water or cook food, which is also very important in an emergency. This is a limited time offer at mypatriotsupply.com, mypatriotsupply.com/Owen. Take advantage of the winter prep 3-month emergency food kit with $400 in free gifts, including the indoor safe, electricity-free space heater. So take advantage of this while it's still there at mypatriotfoodsupply.com. Thanks to our friends at My Patriot Food Supply for sponsoring today's show. Okay. Second hour in the books. We got a couple other news issues to cover, but we will be opening up the phone lines here very shortly. So if you're looking to get on the show, stay tuned, and we will be right back.
You're listening to the Owen Report on the Win Network.
Navigating between the sane and insane. It's the Owen Report with Owen Schroyer. On the cutting edge of news and analysis, the Owen Report with Owen Schroyer.
Guys, it's not good. It's not good, guys. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I could be the biggest Israel supporter in the world. But if I was honest, prioritizing Israel was such a horrible decision, folks. We should have done trade. We should have done trade. We should have done manufacturing. We should have gotten the tariffs right. We should have done the economy. And instead we prioritized Israel. Folks, the market is going way down. This is not good. And now this tariff threat. I'm almost thinking about dumping everything right now. I got to be honest. I'm almost thinking about logging on right now and dumping everything because it is collapsing now. It might be worse than I originally anticipated. It could be worse than I thought. It's ashes. I'll probably just hold. I'll probably just sit here and watch everything go down, go into the red. And I do think it'll come back. But folks, this is bad. This is bad. The market was already in a bad spot. And now with this, with China and the tariffs, oh my gosh. And on a Friday, watch out for Monday, folks. Watch out. You might get some indications over the weekend in the other markets, the early markets, but watch out for Monday. Watch out, folks. Oh, it's just so. It's just so frustrating, man. Again, it's like I just congratulations. I mean, congratulations. Congratulations to Israel. You know, congratulations to all the Israeli lobbyists. Congratulations to all the Israeli loyalists in America. Congratulations. You did it, I guess. You know, you completely destroyed Gaza. Maybe you'll end up conquering some of that land too. You're already going to get land grabs in Syria and probably Lebanon, maybe Jordan too. Maybe the West Bank, maybe the Golan Heights. I mean, you're going to get a bunch of land out of this. And, you know, you destroyed, you know, you probably killed over 70,000 people and everything. So, I mean, congratulations. You prioritized it. You got what you wanted. Now get ready. Now get ready for the aftermath. I hope we can avoid it, folks, but this is not good. We should have said, sorry, we got other more important things to take care of, but we didn't. And we all know why. We all know why. Because of Susie Wiles and AIPAC. It's just so annoying. So, yeah, your energy bills are going to continue to go up. Your grocery bills are going to continue to go up. Watch for the markets to take a hit. Consumer goods prices are going to continue to go up. But hey, at least we did everything that the Israel lobby wanted us to do. Everything the Adelsons wanted, everything AIPAC wanted, everything Susie Wiles wanted, everything Netanyahu wanted. At least we got that done. I'm so glad we prioritized that. And that's so great that there's peace in the Middle East after, about 100,000 have died and the entire civilization has been wiped off the map. And, Syria has fallen to Al-Qaeda. It's just great. I'm so glad we prioritize that instead of the U.S. economy, the U.S. market, U.S. resources, U.S. trade and tariffs. It's so great, isn't it? Aren't you happy? Aren't you so proud of the work you did? And now even you are saying you're not going to vote for Republicans because there's a Qatar base in Idaho. I mean, just way to go, guys. Just way to go. Take your victory lap. No, you won't even take your victory lap because you're already pissed. Because it's never enough. And now there's a Qatar air base, and now you're not even going to vote Republican. I mean, just way to go. You're so loyal. You're so good for American politics. Way to go, guys. So God forbid if the market collapses, God forbid that consumer prices go up, God forbid your energy bill goes up, your grocery bill goes up. God forbid it all happens, because at least we did what Netanyahu wanted. At least we bombed Iran. At least we gave $30 billion. Congratulations, but you're still not even happy. Now you're upset because there's a Qatar air base. Great job. So when all of this stuff goes down, fly that foreign flag proud. Way to go. Oh. What a disaster. What a disaster this could turn out to be. Wow. All right. Let me see if there's any other videos we want to present here before we open the phone lines. I got a lot from Marjorie Taylor Greene. Oh, I got some funny clips from Piers Morgan. Here, you want to go to this? I'm already ranting on it. Why not? Here's an Israeli on Piers Morgan. Piers Morgan talking about what's happened in Palestine. But, of course, that's not their land, right? So here you go.
Nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize. I have to say that given our last interview, this certainly was a surprise to me that you were being seen as somebody driving peace. But do you think that you are worthy of this honor?
Well, I did. It was a surprise for me too. The one who is most interested in it is my husband. He just wanted to know how much money it is and if he has to pay tax. But if we put this aside, I don't think that that prize is something that is more important than what I do all my life. I dedicate my life to establishing communities on the mountain ridge, and now I'm intend even now to establish communities in the entire Gaza area. After the hostages are home, and I hope they will be with their families in the coming 2-3 days, and then we will continue with our efforts to establish Jewish communities in Gaza. I think that when wherever Jews live, there is more chance for peace than in areas where there are no Jewish communities.
See, now this is what ends up happening here. Don't say that, because now this is what leads to this whole anti-Semitism thing. You do not speak for all Jews. You don't. You don't speak for all Israeli Jews, and you don't speak for all American Jews. You're referring to right-wing extremists. You're referring to the ethno-nationalists that wanted to take the land and move in. That's who you're referring to. Many Jews in Israel have been protesting this for over a year. They're not moving in. But now you're going to have it. She just did it. So they're going to say, see, it's the Jews. It's the Jews. No, it's not all the Jews. No, it's not. Half the Jews in Israel don't like Netanyahu. and half of them are protesting in the streets regularly. And then she's going to throw every single Jew on planet Earth under the bus by saying, yes, we Jews are going to destroy the land and take it, when that's not how every Jew feels. Not even close. And then you see the rise of anti-Semitism because of the things that she says.
So I didn't ask for the prize, but if you ask, if I compare what I do or what Nahala movement, my movement, does to other people or to other organizations, I think that we do a lot for peace in the Middle East and in the world.
But as you know, since the start of this war 2 years ago, there has been aggressive expansion and settlements on the West Bank, for example, very aggressively fought for and land seized and Palestinians displaced from their homes. I wouldn't categorize that as peaceful actions. In fact, it's quite the opposite, isn't it?
It is strange to call what Jews do in their homeland, in the land that was given to them, to us by God, to call this grabbing or by force. This is our land. This is our homeland. And to be specific, we care to establish community.
It's her land, promised her by God 3,000 years ago. There you go. All right. President Trump is actually live right now. Let's see if we can't pick this up live. Yes, we know. We know.
8,000 people. That's big retribution. That's big retribution. People understand that. So, no, I think they're all tired of fighting, and this really gives the whole Middle East. This is beyond Gaza. Gaza is very important, but this is beyond Gaza. This is peace in the Middle East, and it is a beautiful thing. You know, it's a term that you and I have been hearing since we were very young, right?
Here's a question.
And now we have a chance of really having that. And as you know, most of the countries have passed all these resolutions.
Is peace in the Middle East worth crashing the U.S. economy?
It's just an honest question. I was very happy to see that. I was very honored.
Is peace in the Middle East,
they
said they support it?
Russia
is peace in the Middle East worth crashing the U.S. economy? Should that end up being the case?
I was happy to see
your consideration.
Even countries that weren't necessarily involved in the process, they all support it. I don't know of anybody that doesn't. And I've never seen happier people than many of these places, not just Israel. Many of these places, they're all dancing in the streets. I've never seen anything like it.
President,
go ahead, please, in the back.
Thank you. What guarantees did you give Hamas to persuade them that Israel will restart the bombing campaign once the hostages have been exchanged?
What did I do with respect to them? Well, you know, I spoke a little bit tough, and that's what would happen. I mean, you have to speak tough. That's a tough world. That's a tough, as they say, neighborhood. And they're tough people. They're very tough people, and they're smart people. They're good negotiators. They have a lot of things going. They put that to good use. They're going to be very, very successful. But they knew the retribution would be tremendous, unsustainable. It would have been unsustainable. It would have been complete obliteration, and they didn't want that. And nobody wants it at this point. They want to get on with rebuilding the entire Middle East. It's not only Gaza. It's going to be the entire Middle East. They're going to be able to live in peace. Now we have some little hot spots, but they're very small. You know the ones I'm talking about. They're very small. They'll be very easy to put out. Those fires are going to be put out very quickly. Yes, ma'am.
Now, look, that lady that,
talking about the Middle East,
I mean, Nobel Peace Prize nominated, that lady that
first phase, is there
Piers Morgan has on says, no, we're moving it. Israel's moving in and taking that land. Folks, if that happens, there's no peace.
On most of it, and some of the
there's no
details,
peace.
like anything else, they'll be worked out because you'll find
who's
out
going to rebuild it? There's no civilization. There's no infrastructure left.
Room in Egypt.
Are you buying any of this?
Work something out, but then sometimes it doesn't work from a practical standpoint. So certain little things, but for the most part, there's consensus. Yes.
Do you intend to hash that out when you're in Egypt?
I might. Yeah. I mean, I'll be there because I'll be going to. I think I'll go to Cairo. I think that's where we're going, as opposed to the place of the signing. And we have a lot of leaders from all over the world coming too. They've been invited. And then I'm coming back. I believe it's Tuesday night for Charlie Kirk, a friend of mine, a friend of all of ours, a friend of a lot of the people right here. And we're giving him the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
Wow.
which is the highest honor you get outside of the Congressional Medal of Honor. One's military, one's civilian, but it's the greatest honor. And
Charlie has now got
Erica's beautiful
military
wife
honor.
is going to be here,
Yeah,
and a lot of people are going to be
and
here.
everything. And now the Medal of Freedom. That's the highest honor you can get as a civilian.
It's
Wow.
a very quick trip, but I'll be making 2 major stops, and then I'll be on the plane trying to get back in time for Charlie. They're going to have a great celebration at the White House in the East Room of the White House.
Russell Vogt said the reductions in force have begun related to this shutdown. How many layoffs have you authorized for this first round, and from which agencies?
And it'll be Democrat-oriented because we figure, they started this thing, so they should be Democrat-oriented. It'll be a lot, and we'll announce the numbers over the next couple of days, but it'll be a lot of people, all because of the Democrats. I mean, they want to give $1.5 trillion to people that came into the country illegally. More important than that, because we all have a big heart. We want people to be taken care of, but we have 0 people coming in. You know that, Glenn, right? That's a pretty impressive number, even for a successful governor. But we've had for the last 4 months 0 people coming in illegally. They're coming in, but they're coming in legally. They're coming in through a process that's really a really good process right now, because we want people to come in, but they have to come in legally. So what we're doing is, as these different groups come due, we're going to make a determination. Do we want them a lot? And I must tell you, a lot of them happen to be Democrat-oriented. These are people that the Democrats wanted that in many cases were not appropriate. We fought them at the time, and it was ultimately signed in. And some of these people, these are largely people that the Democrats want. Many of them will be fired. Yes, please, behind.
The Nobel Peace Prize was announced this morning. Your thoughts?
Which one?
The Nobel Peace Prize. Your thoughts?
Look, including a very big one, and I'm not sure, when you say big, it's certainly, I think, to the mind of most, the most important deal ever made in terms of peace. But the one we just signed, it's been signed, sealed, and it's going to start taking place now. It's already started. Monday's going to be a very big day when the hostages come back. But I made 8 deals, transactions of wars. One was 31 years going on. 10 million people were killed. One was 34 years. One was 36, 37. One was 10. One was just starting. 2 were just starting, actually.
You guys
they
hear,
were
by the
well
way,
on
the
their
other
way.
night,
In the case of
I was
India and
talking to Ezra
Pakistan,
Levant.
7 planes were shot down.
I'm
It
going to have
was a
similar
bad one.
discussion.
And I did it
next week
largely through trade.
and the
that
following
one,
weeks. But see,
numerous
like,
of them.
I've been invited to
talk
Israel. I don't
tariffs.
even know
said,
how
"Look,
many
if you're
times.
going to do that, we're going to put very big tariffs on your
If you
country. And,
recall, I
they
told
were
you
both
about
great.
how this was
They
about to
stopped
go
fighting,
down.
and there were 2
How many
nuclear
people have
powers.
been
So,
listening to me
they're
for
all
a
big.
year?
Every one of them big. You take a look at the
Honestly,
Congo. You take a look at the Congo. Rwanda.
Do I ever steer you
10
wrong?
million people killed over a
You may
long
recall
period
when
of
I was
time.
still hosting
Got
the
that one
InfoWars War
solved.
Room. Probably about a
we
year or
did,
so ago,
a
after
total
I
of
started
8
doing the
as of
offers
this.
and then
2
I started
days ago,
getting
I
some
would've said
inside
7,
information
which
on it, I
did
told
say,
you,
but,
I went on
the
air
other
and I
one
said,
was signed
get
up,
ready.
sealed.
You're
As you
about
know,
to see
the,
a bunch of social
Israel
media
signed it
influencers
just
go to
now.
Israel.
They signed it, and
It's
they
about to
approved
be a
it today
huge thing. There's a
in
ton of money
Parliament.
behind it.
And
I
it's a
told
great
you all of
honor
it was
to be
going
involved
down, and
with
now
so
here
many.
we are. But okay, so
the
I bring this
person
up
who
because
actually
Ezra
got the
the other
Nobel
day
Prize,
asked me if I'd be
called
willing
today,
to
called
go to
me
Israel, and I said no.
and said,
And he
I'm
said, why?
accepting this in
And
honor
I
of you
told him
because you
the
really
obvious
deserve it.
answer
A
is,
very nice thing to do.
I don't want to be the next hostage.
I didn't say then give it
Why
to
would
me,
I
though.
go to that war-torn region
I
of
think
the
she might
world?
have. She was very nice.
And I would
I've
also
been
add,
helping her
politically
along the way.
speaking,
They
if
need a
I
lot of
had
help
political
in
aspirations, I
Venezuela.
mean,
It's a basic
everything is
disaster.
about to
So,
flip on its head, folks.
and you could also say
Everything
it was
is
given
about
out
to
for
flip on its
24,
head.
and I was running for office in
So it used to be
24.
you have to go to Israel and kiss the wall if you want to
transactions
win.
that we did
Well,
in
maybe
terms
if you
of
want to get
closing, but,
access to the billions
there are
of
those that
dollars
say we
in
did so
foreign
much
money
that they should have done
and
it, but I
lobbyist
don't
money,
think-
maybe that's what you
I'm
would have to
happy
do.
because I
But
saved
no, I
millions
would
of
argue
lives.
now going
Many
and
millions
kissing
of
the
lives.
wall
And speaking of
is
somebody that saves lives, don't ever play golf
a
with it because Keegan Bradley just
political
walked in, one of the greatest golfers
nightmare,
in the world, the
I
captain
would
of
say.
the Ryder Cup. And
I
man,
think
I'll tell
that
you,
this
you
is
did a
all
good
going to
job.
shift
You
on its head
almost
4
came
years,
back.
is what
I
I think.
turned on. I
But
said,
yeah, I'd go. I'm sure I'd go to Israel and
so it
love it. I'm
turned
sure they
off.
have a
It
great.
wasn't looking good, and
I'm
then
sure there's great
a little
people,
while
great
later, I
food, and
turned
great
on. I
cities
said,
and
"You
everything,
guys
just
might
like
think
everywhere.
That would have been the miracle.
I bet you
What a
I could
great
go
job.
any country
He's
and find a great
respected by those
lifestyle
golfers like
and enjoy
nobody,
myself,
and
just
just
like I have
wanna
every time I've left the country.
compliment you, Keegan.
Not about
That was
that.
incredible
I have no
job.
doubt
Right
about
here,
that.
we have a lot of unfriendly fake
But I'm not
news
doing the
media.
political thing.
And he's not.
And I'm
used
not
to
going to
that.
go
He's
to a
used to getting
war-torn
all the good
region where I could end up a
publicity, I think, Howard.
hostage.
These are all
Why would I do
golfers.
that?
But you're some golfer, I'll tell
yes.
you that, and some leader. Thank you very
Oh,
much.
yeah.
Great job. Thank
The
you.
offers. You know what's funny? I've had more offers to go to Israel than I have to go to the White House. I've had more offers to go to Israel than I've had to testify in front of Congress. So maybe I should like Israel. Maybe, you know what? At least Israel is trying to court me.
A year ago, D.C.
I guess
was
if I'm
this,
being
our
fair
great
here,
capital,
at
was a
least
very
Israel is
unsafe place.
trying
You know
to
that.
court me.
Some of you were mugged.
At least Israel is saying, hey,
talk
you know,
openly about it.
come
Some of
hang
the
out with
media was
us.
mugged.
Come see our things. I don't get that from
But,
D.C.
right now,
I don't
D.C.
get that
is one
from
of the
my own
safest
country.
places in the whole
I don't
country.
testify in front of
The
Congress.
restaurants are booming. They're
So I guess
opening
that's
up new
ironic.
restaurants. The restaurants are all
Israel
closing.
does
Now
more
you
to
can't
try to
get
win
into
my
a
support
restaurant.
than
They're
my
opening
own
up new
country
restaurants.
does.
It took 12 days for us. We sent in not politically correct military. We sent them in based on merit. You know, we won the case in the Supreme Court. Everything now is based on merit. Our country was founded on things based on merit. Like Keegan Bradley's not going to be playing golf if he wasn't a great player. If he shoots lower scores, boy, there's no more merit system than that one, Keegan, right? If you miss a putt, they don't say, oh, that's okay, let's take it again, do they? No, it's based on merit. Everything's based on merit. And
All right, it sounds like
back to
we're
the
kind of
merit
getting
system.
into
And when
the
they
redundancy factor here. Okay, so I'll tell you what, we're almost out of time. I said I would answer calls, and I do intend to do that. So let me just kill that feed. I got some other stuff we could cover, but I said we would take calls, so I don't want to deny people the opportunity to call in. So let's get the audio right here so that you can hear callers. Okay, there we go. Change that. Put the number on the screen. Owen, do your job, running the show. Bing, bang, boom. There it is. 747-255-60. 747-255-60. Phone line is open. We'll take calls for the final 30 or so minutes here. Before I do that, this is great news. Check this out. Check this out before we go to our first caller. Here we go. Our friends over at Cove Pure Water Filtration Systems, we've got a big sale going on right now. The countertop reverse osmosis water purifier, the Cove Pure CP16, limited time offer, $100 off. $100 off right now. Your Cove Pure CP16 reverse osmosis water purifier. No installation or plumbing needed. Real-time water quality monitoring. Hot, warm, cold, and room temperature water on demand. Ability to customize the amount of water you want dispensed. Powerful 4-stage filtration. Alkaline filter returns beneficial minerals to water. Certified to NSF and ANSI standard, including with purchase the pitcher that you can refill, put in your fridge, keep it cold. Folks, if you've really studied water filtration, you would have heard something I just said there that's so key. So reverse osmosis water filtration system is the most pure water filtration system you can get. It literally gets it down to like nothing except water. But the problem is it loses some of the beneficial minerals that might come into water, like the alkaline levels. So this thing does the reverse osmosis to purify your water, and then in the stage 4 filtration returns the beneficial minerals, including the alkaline. Incredible stuff from our friends at Cove Pure Water Filter Systems. This thing is so sleek looking, goes right on your kitchen countertop, and right now, limited time offer, the Cove Pure CP16 countertop reverse osmosis water purifier. Folks, this is a no-brainer. Get it for $100 off while supplies last, while the sale is live. Cove Pure Water Filters. It's the official water filtration system of the Owen Report. Go to covepure.com and look at all the different products they have to offer. But this is the hot item right now. This is the item I'm suggesting for you. And with that $100 off, you cannot deny it. You cannot deny that. All right. There you go. Big shout out to our friends at covepure.com. Okay, time to close us out. at the phone line. So here we go. First caller of the day. What's your name? Where you from? Oh, we lost you. Sorry. I meant to go to you sooner. Sorry about that. Let's try it again. First caller of the day. What's your name? Where you from?
This is Alex. I'm from Kentucky, but I'm actually in the Baltimore airport. And after hearing you speak this evening, it's actually an honor to call in to the new show, Owen. But, you walk through security. I had my boots on, took my belt off. It's only tennis shoes you get to take off.
Whoa. Pam Bondi said you didn't have to do that anymore. What are you saying here? Hold on. Give it. Whoa.
Yes. So tennis shoes, everybody can leave on, but I had cowboy boots on, and you have to take those off.
They're discriminating.
They made sure to
They're
announce
discriminating against cowboy boots. Is that what you're telling me?
I think it was because I was white, actually. And I'm here in the airport, and there's still people wearing masks. Can you believe it?
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, I do believe that, yes.
But, of course, you can never doubt the liberal hive mind mindset. But, I honestly, I tend to I've been at a work thing all week. I haven't really been too much on the news to see if there's anything new about Charlie Kirk. But I kind of am tending to buy the narrative. But where we do agree is that I have no faith in the FBI, the government. Really, if they came out and showed the bullet and those kind of things, some more evidence, I would still have no faith that where did this bullet come from or any of that kind of stuff. I feel like we can agree on certain things that there's just no faith in the government whatsoever. And the Lyft ride over here, the Uber driver, Lyft ride, whatever, he was asking me about Mitch McConnell, and I could tell that he was a liberal, but at least we agreed that he is too old and needs to go.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing that I'm seeing, and I kind of talked about this earlier. And look, obviously, there is a left-right paradigm. There are political issues where there's a left and there's a right. And then there should be things that we all agree on. Now, these things tend to get lost in translation, and then when there ever is an issue that we agree on, there's the people that come in there and keep you separated. So it's like the same thing I'm seeing right now with Marjorie Taylor Greene and Thomas Massey or Ro Khanna, where it's like, hey, these guys are kind of tuned into the populist movement. These guys are kind of representing just what all Americans or most Americans are thinking, and then they try to do the divide and conquer. So it's like, yeah, this is where we need better. This is where we need to have more communication. In my eyes, it's like you said. I'll use me. I won't assume things about you, but I've never voted for a Democrat in my life. I don't know if I ever would, but I never have. And yet, I would sit here and tell you how bad Mitch McConnell is as much as anybody. And that's what I'm saying. It's like I would agree. A Democrat would say, yeah, Mitch McConnell sucks. And they'd probably think, oh, you're going to stand up for him. And you'd say, no, Mitch McConnell sucks. It's like, yeah, there are things we agree on here.
Yeah, and there's plenty of criticism for Trump and the current administration. It's a scary thing, too, where after the assassination that all the radicals just come out and they're just so blatant about,
well, that's
we all deserve to die.
Whatever you think about,
kind of
whatever you think about happened to Charlie, that's undeniable. I mean, the Democrat, the left, they came out and celebrated it. That is just a fact. So there's no denying that. That we did all see that. But I don't think too many people were surprised. All right, thanks for the call. Let's go to the next caller. What is your name? Where are you from?
Friday, Owen. This is Ahmed from New York.
What's up, Ahmed?
What's going on? So you're hurt by, what is it, the stock market or crypto? Which one is hurting?
Crypto is just, I'm getting killed. Crypto is getting killed right now. The stock market is down, but the crypto market is just, oh my gosh.
Okay, the stock market is a lie. We all know that's a lie.
Well, okay.
It's manipulated very easily.
Yeah, of course, it's a rigged game. Yeah, all right. No disagreement here.
Okay, crypto right now, Bitcoin hit an all-time high. Was it like a few days ago? So everything goes through corrections.
Yeah.
Everything corrects itself, goes ups and downs.
Yeah, and actually, and actually, it looks like right before close. There was a little bump in the market, in the stock market. I don't know about the crypto market. I'm kind of looking. It looks like there was a little bump at close today. So that's kind of the pump and dump I was talking about. It looks like it's happening in crypto too. Okay, so everything crashed hard And then right before close, it looks like there was a little bump. So some whales were playing some games today, as I predicted earlier. It happened sooner than I thought. But pay attention, because Monday is going to be a big day with this whole China trade war ramping up again.
Yeah, I mean, it has to correct itself. Once it goes down a few percent, goes right back up usually. And since Trump has hit the office, man, it's been on a crazy bull run.
Oh, it's been huge.
Also with the parlays, bro. Don't hate on parlays, man. I tried to call yesterday and bless everybody with a winning ticket, man. I sat in front of it and watched the Giants do their thing against the.
Did
the
you
Philly,
call that?
And
Did you call that?
I have a very nice parlay. It was like a 9-leg parlay, man. And
Did you see?
And I try to bless everybody.
Did you get on the Jackson Dart 180 yards total over and under?
I had it for 175.
That was the easiest bet of the game.
Oh, and their running back was crazy.
Yeah, Scatibo or Scatibo,
so,
whatever it is.
Well,
in fact, hold on. I got something on that. Hold on a second here. This was so for people that don't know, Thursday Night Football, which is mostly a horrible product. It really is a horrible product, but they do it for the TV reasons to have a game on Thursday night. And so Thursday Night Football switched to Amazon, and so they have the Amazon streaming. It's an Amazon streaming exclusive now, and
terrible.
It's Thursday Night Football is really a horrible product in my opinion. I don't like it at all. But okay, so there it is. So they stream it on Amazon. So there's different rules, right? There's different rules, and you can tell in the post game. And so last night, let me try to find this video. I know I have it on my list somewhere today. This was the biggest list for the Owen Report ever. We had almost 30 videos, so. We're starting to get back into the flow of things. I hope people are kind of seeing we're slowly but surely getting into the flow. All right, so this is after. So the Amazon team at Thursday Night Football's post-game coverage, it's like there are no rules. And so they're kind of starting to lean into the whole we don't have normal broadcast terrestrial rules now. And so this happened. I don't know if you saw that. This happened last night. The two rookies, Jackson Dart and Cam Scatibu, on the Thursday Night Football set after the game. This is funny. Watch this.
Let's go! Oh, yes! Okay! Woo! Now give the woo! Yeah!
We're going like 90s WWE Thursday Night Football post game streaming on Amazon now. That's where we're at.
I just want to say something with the Amazon Prime. You have to watch it live, right? So it's hard to like synchronize all the TV screens. Let's say you have multiple devices. Every screen is going to be different timing. So if you're doing bets and all that stuff, and you're trying to have a feeling like everybody's watching, sitting down, how are you going to get that if you have to get all the devices simultaneously streaming at the exact same time? That's the one thing that Prime needs to honestly fix.
I'm not familiar with that issue.
Like, cause I stream it off in my restaurant, so I have like 3-4 devices running Thursday Night Football. So if one is like 10 seconds ahead, one's 5 seconds ahead, and everybody's like glued on one TV because it's like exactly on the right way. You know what I'm saying?
I think the
like,
solution. I could be wrong because you might already be doing this, but this is what I did on my setup. The solution is they have to be from the same source. So like if you're pulling one off an internet browser, or you're pulling one off of a Fire Stick, or you're pulling one off a Roku, you have to pull it off the same source. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but then you have to link up all the TVs together.
I know. I know. Believe me, I don't know if you've seen the setup I got here. Okay, now I know what you're talking about. But that's what it is. If it's coming from the same source, then you can do it. But if they're coming from different sources, yeah, you're going to have that problem. A little sport. I told you to sprinkle a little sports. People like sports. It's okay. Doesn't mean you're a bad person. It's fun. Next caller, what's your name? Where you from?
Jay, Pennsylvania.
All right, Jay, go ahead.
I don't know how you're watching sports. I'm trying out here to fight the media and everybody in the corruption. Nobody can have a time to watch a game. You can't do anything else.
You're not allowed to have any fun, all right? Everything sucks, and World War V is starting, so just, yeah. No fun allowed.
Yeah. Yeah, man, fuck. Forgot where I was going with that, but hell yeah, fucking football's
funny.
back, betting's back.
Funny.
You got to have a break in life, you know what I mean?
That's pretty funny. I told you, I said, I had some people reach out that wanted to sponsor the show in, let's say, the gambling industry. And at first I was like, I don't know. I don't know if I want, I don't know if I really want to bring that into the show. Just, it's like, I don't know. I think it's fine. I think it's fun. I think we can do it fun. And I think there's a lot of people that have fun with that. We don't have to do it in, a degenerative way. I think we can do it in a more fun way. So we may do that. We may actually bring in some of the sports gambling people here that wanted to sponsor the show. So I may change my mind on that.
It's always a good time, Hey, people got to relax somehow. You can't be politics, 24/7. That's
You'll
my
go crazy.
opinion anyhow.
You'll go crazy.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes, you have to turn it off, but, while I'm here with you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna go out there and, paint my body and make my entire life identity about a sports team. That's when it gets detrimental. But I like to go to a sports game. I like to go out to a ball game. I like to, if I'm in my leisure, have a game on TV and talk some trash. It's fun.
Heck yeah. Yeah, so the Cash Patel thing, man, he's just like bugging the heck out of me. It's like, do you ever watch the movie Snatch?
I don't think so. Doesn't ring a bell.
It's a older movie. It's a kind of a British kind of, a lot of actors. It had Jason Statham. It was one of his first movies. It's a pretty damn good movie.
Oh, is that the one where they like follow a bunch of different stories and then they tie it all together at the end?
Yeah, it has like, what's his name? He was married to Angelina Jolie, I think. I don't know.
I think I know what you're talking about. Like they follow a bunch of different plot lines and then they connect them all at the end. I think that's what you're talking about. If that's it, I hadn't seen that movie in a while.
Yeah, I was just thinking though when I was watching him speak, it's like the one guy, he's like a hitman boss, like mafia style, but he's English, and he says, "Gary, get your tongue out my ass, Gary. Are you a dog?" And that's how I feel about Cash. Like he's just like so far up whoever's behind every time he speaks. It's unbelievable. I can't take it. It's like you were doing social media and doing all this stuff, and you just switched your game over 100% to the basically a lint liquor.
Tell me how you really feel.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean,
well, wait a second. We just had what? We just had a Giants fan on the air. You're in Pennsylvania. Are you an Eagles fan or a Steelers fan?
I'm Steelers fan all the way.
All right.
Yeah, Steelers fan. Yeah, that's the only football team I root for.
You got a little Aaron Rodgers magic left in you.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know, man. It's going to be tough. Yeah, it's a long season. We got an early bye week, so
yeah. But look,
we'll
the
see what happens here.
Bengals are toast. They were without Burrow. The Ravens are like the vultures are circling the Ravens. So the North is up for grabs. The Browns suck. I think the Steelers might win the North.
They might, but then we get to the playoffs, and Tomlin always chokes. It seems. I don't know. And I don't have a lot of faith in our defensive coordinator right now.
Like what happens,
lost, and I think.
Yeah, what happens with the Steelers now, post Roethlisberger, is Mike Tomlin is a great regular season coach. He really is, and he can get the Steelers to the playoffs with almost nothing on the roster, as he proved a couple times post Roethlisberger. But yeah, then you get to the playoffs and you meet a real playoff team, and that's usually when they meet their demise.
That's about it, buddy.
Well,
yeah.
Enjoy the
great
ride.
Talking to you again, man.
Enjoy
Get some
the
other
ride.
Callers here.
I like the Pittsburgh Steelers to win the AFC North. I think it happens. The Browns, who's even playing the Browns with Dylan Gabriel? The Ravens with half of their team on the injured reserve. The Bengals without Joe Burrow, forget about that. What are the Bengals going to do? Where's Flacco? Flacco's been traded around. Is he? I think Flacco's with the Bengals now. He's a Pittsburgh Steelers uniform away from running the entire North. By the way, since we're talking sports here, we'll take a couple more calls here. So did you hear about this? LeBron James did, so back, whatever it was, 10, 15 years ago when he did the first decision where he announced that he was going to go play basketball in Miami, and they did that whole TV event. It was, rubbed some people the wrong way. It was very, very narcissistic, let's say. But okay. So he does this thing. It's the second version of the decision. And they did this whole marketing campaign, the biggest decision I've ever made. And it's LeBron James. And people are expecting that it's a basketball announcement. He's going to announce he's retiring or something. So they anticipate it's going to be a basketball announcement. Well, he ends up coming out, and it's all a marketing ploy to sell booze, to sell Hennessy. So they do this fake buildup like he's doing a basketball announcement like he did 15 years ago, and it just is a Hennessy ad. It literally was a Hennessy ad with all this stuff. I don't know if it sold any Hennessy, but okay. So now fans are suing LeBron James because they said they went out. So when they said he was making an announcement, ticket prices skyrocketed because people thought he was going to retire. So every Lakers ticket skyrocketed up towards $1,000. And then, of course, he announced it was a whiskey thing or whatever, a Hennessy thing, and it had nothing to do with basketball. So I guess he's not retiring. So they all spent all this money on tickets thinking it was going to be the last time he went to this arena, that arena, played a game, and now it's not. And so they're suing him. Lakers fans suing LeBron James due to second decision stunt. I don't think they'll win the lawsuit, but it's happening. By the way, how about this one? So there was a friendly soccer match to take place in Argentina, a friendly between Argentina and Puerto Rico. It was scheduled to happen in Chicago next week, but because of all the Democrat riots, and specifically ICE riots, they are moving the match to Florida. And so if you're in Chicago with Brandon Johnson as your mayor, folks, this is huge. Okay? Whenever international soccer comes to your city, it's a big draw. And we get it in Austin every once in a while now because we have Q2 Stadium. We have the Austin FC team. Decent little stadium we have here. I think it's like 25,000 or 30,000 maybe that it holds. So it's not the biggest, but it's good enough that they bring international soccer in here. We had the international soccer tournament just a couple years ago. I went to a couple of those games. Great time. And brings out all of these people from all around. Huge for the economy. And so think about this. You're in Chicago, and Argentina is a huge draw. You could argue Argentina is the biggest draw in international soccer. It's probably number one right now, I'd say. Maybe it's Brazil sometimes. It's probably Argentina right now, outside of the United States. And now you've lost this economic boom. People would come to that game, probably tens of thousands of Argentina soccer fans. You would have filled an arena. It would have been huge for the local economy. And because of your dirtbag Democrats that can't get violence and crime and left-wing terrorism under control, they left Chicago to go to Fort Lauderdale, north of Miami. How embarrassing. How embarrassing for Chicago. How embarrassing for Mayor Johnson. What a loss. And he'll just sit there and act like it didn't happen or it doesn't matter. No, it does. Those local businesses, believe me, those local businesses were putting Argentina flags, Puerto Rico flags, making local drink specials and meal specials. They were ready to have a big day that day. That's the kind of day that makes your month even. A day like that can make your entire month. And because your mayor in Chicago is so inept and so pathetic, you just lost probably your biggest economic event of the month. What a joke. Next caller, what's your name? Where you're from? I know.
Hey, are you there, Owen?
Yep, go ahead. What's your name? Where you're from?
Hey, it's Steve from Chicago. Southside.
Hey, how about that? A Southsider calls in.
Man, I've been listening to you for years. I'm so happy you're fucking back. Sorry. So happy you're back, Owen.
You know what? I'm actually glad you said that. I had it in my notes here, and so sometimes I remember to go to my notes. Sometimes I don't, but I had it in my notes here. I I am so it's so great to be back talking politics with you guys. I didn't realize how much I missed it really until probably after maybe Wednesday night. Because I had a really big Tuesday, really big Wednesday. We did 4 shows in those 2 days. And afterwards, you know, it's kind of a good feeling. You get off air, your adrenaline is racing, but you're really, you know, you just put in a long day, so you're tired, but it's a good feeling. And it was a feeling I hadn't had in a while. And I didn't realize how much I missed it. I didn't realize how much I missed political talk. I didn't realize how much I missed broadcasting. In my time off, you know, I was dealing with other things and getting other things ready. I forgot how much I enjoyed this, how much I loved this. I didn't realize how much I missed it till I got back. So I don't know how many days I can do like that, but already next week we're going to do the road show Monday, and then I get back Tuesday for the show, and then we got an interview Tuesday, a debate on foreign policy with Ashton Forbes. And then I got Wednesday night an interview with a former WWE star. I'm already lining up. So, I mean, it's just great to be back.
Awesome.
It's great to be back.
I'm so happy. I know my brother's happy. He's the one that put me on you. I'm 33 from Chicago. I'm a pipe fitter. Just honestly, everything you said today is on point. Just keep doing what you're doing, man.
Forever.
And Chicago,
Forever.
I mean, they had billboards all over the city for that.
Oh
soccer
my
match.
gosh. Oh my gosh. Think about that.
I just got back from Mexico, and every single billboard is, "Hey, Messi and Argentina."
Think
coming.
about that. That's a $1 million marketing campaign.
Oh,
that's $1 million marketing campaign.
100%. Yeah. And then all those businesses. I mean, this city's a shithole. I mean, they need to clean it up.
What a shame.
I don't even go to the city.
How bad is it? How bad is it?
It's so beautiful.
Well, it was amazing because that area, I forget what you guys call it, that area around the Bean.
Like Millennium Park?
Millennium Park, thank you. Yeah, so there's that area around the Bean, and they've really advanced it in the last decade or so. They put up that kind of mini amusement park and the roller coaster, and they've got a little they got the little pier there.
Putt-putt.
Yeah, so they extended it. It used to be that great pier, which is one of the best ever, by the way. You can go to the Shed Aquarium. You can go to the Soldier Field. You can go to the what's the name of the space center that you guys got there? The planetarium that you guys got there. It's like, and now you got the second one in Millennium Park, and then they overran it when they had all the illegals there, and you couldn't even go there anymore. I mean, it's just so bad. Chicago is so awesome. It's so awesome. And your Democrat leadership, it's killing the city.
100%. It's horrible. I mean, I hope all these natural grassroots uprisings will have some say this time around.
Well, you guys do have a pretty strong contingent of these women there. It's mostly black women that are really trying to use the momentum of the Trump administration and the MAGA movement. They're trying to get people to vote Republican now. I forget the one lady's name. She's a fitness instructor, very good looking lady. And her husband are like really trying to get people out to stop voting Democrat. I wonder if it'll ever happen. I don't know.
I pray for it too, because someday this has to knock in their heads that this is not working anymore. My wife's Hispanic and she knows, like, this is absurd. And at first, not a Trump fan. But then, honestly, over the years of just seeing all the brainwashing and me trying to tell her, like, hey, do you see this? Like, this is not good. It's completely brainwashing you, and you're playing victim.
Well, it's like part of Trump's success is just how much the Democrats suck.
Exactly.
You know, it's like
now it's kind of coming through a little bit. And I mean, everybody I work with is seeing it now. Like, I've tried to show people, like, hey, this is like, look at you. Got to see the blatant lying to your face on a daily basis.
Yeah, and that's what it is.
Yeah.
There's no other way to
It's
put
a
it.
shame,
Well, what
but
a shame.
I think there is a hope. I think there is a hope because J.B. Pritzker's putting his foot in his mouth pretty big right now, and there's a lot of African American communities that don't want this crime.
I think Pritzker puts a lot more than his foot in his mouth, but that's a different issue. I can't. Yeah, honestly, if I'm in Chicago and you just watched your mayor blow this massive soccer game that would have been huge for the community, huge for the economy. I mean, it's just like, how much more can you tolerate, man?
Exactly. And the business owners aren't going to stand with that.
That's
anymore.
what I'm saying.
Crazy.
I mean, it's so many people that get impacted by this. It's really hard. And until you've actually seen it for yourself, because not everybody's really, not everybody has a business downtown that thrives off of, say, the entertainment industry, right? Not everybody works in sports or works downtown. So it's hard to really understand what that means. But but once you've seen it, you can never unsee it. These restaurants, these bars, everywhere surrounding the area, they all would have been filled. They would have been filled for 5-6 hours, nonstop business. Now they're going to be empty. Yep.
I will say one thing about Rahm Emanuel. When he was our mayor in Chicago, he kept everything in order. He did not let the chaos go crazy. Like Lightfoot, that was a nightmare.
Well, that used to be kind of standard.
tame.
It used to be, I mean, it's not like Democrats were ever, I don't know if I would say I've ever seen them be the good guys, but yeah, it's like at least they would have some semblance of, let's not let our city go to hell.
And it looks like a black stain on our city every time. Yeah.
What a shame.
That's why no one goes there anymore. It's not worth it, honestly. But it's beautiful, and there's a lot to see. But
yeah, it really is great. Anytime anybody asks me about Chicago, I'm like, man, you could spend a week there and not see everything, not do everything.
Oh, it's huge. I was just there for the first time to see the Air and Water show, and it was quite amazing. And everybody was friendly. A lot of people were friendly. Everyone was friendly of all mixes, and it was a great time. So once the sun goes down, that's when it starts to get a little hairy. So.
Where was you said you saw a concert?
It was the Air and Water show.
Is that a music band?
No, they do it over Lake Michigan. They fly like F-16s.
Air and Water. I thought you said Air and Waters. I was like, I'd never heard.
I'm sorry.
Air and Water. Okay.
Yeah. But that was amazing, but everybody was on the beachfront having a good time. Everybody's being friendly, so the people are good. It's just the crime gotta get shut down.
Yeah, that's great. Well, there's parts of they call it Chirac. There's parts of Chicago you can't even go.
Oh, I don't even go to Sox games anymore because it's a nightmare.
Really, it's that bad?
Yeah, it's they're trying to re-gentrify. I mean, the Bears are trying to leave to go to a different city.
And they just spent how much money renovating Soldier Field 20 years ago? I mean, they spent a pretty penny to do that job.
They don't even own that stadium. They rent that stadium from the city.
Yeah. It would be a shame. It'd be a shame if they didn't play there anymore, though.
It's gorgeous. You're right on the lakefront, and so...
And there's no other stadium like it. It's a very unique stadium. It looks like a spaceship.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, they re-ventilated it in 2001 or in that era. And then, yeah, it looks like a spaceship. But they kept all the original foundation, and it's gorgeous.
No, it is. It's a piece of history for sure.
Well, thank you, Owen. Happy to talk to you. This first time talking to you, ever calling in. I always watch you on rerun, and now I saw you were on. I said, I'm calling in.
Right on. Thank you. Glad you got through. Right on. And cheers to your brother, too. That's funny. You're talking about Chicago, then the guy from Chicago calls in. I just don't get it. Like, why do they put up with this crap? Why do they put up with this crap? It happens. It's not just Chicago, but it's just like, to lose a big event like that is just so, it's bad, man. I'm telling you, these businesses, that's a month. That one event makes their month. And to lose that because your Democrat mayor can't get crime under control, basic left-wing radical terrorism under control, and you lose that? Bad leadership, bad politics. No other way to put it. No other way to put it. All right, we're about to sign off for the day here. If we can squeeze another call, we'll get one in. But I want to let you know, if you like the hat I'm wearing today, You can get yours at owenschroyer.store. owenschroyer.store. It's the Gold USA Classic hat, available exclusively at owenschroyer.store. It's the only place to get all the official Owen Report merchandise at owenschroyer.store. And once we get our feet out under us a little bit here on the show, this is the first week. First week is in the books. When we sign off here in a couple minutes, first week is in the books. But once we get our feet really out from under us and are really settled in here, we're probably going to be adding a bunch of stuff to the store. I do have plans to add a bunch of stuff to the store. But that's where you can find all of the official merchandise at owenschroyer.store is where we're at there. All right, any other odds and ends before we sign off? Let's see. Did you see oh my gosh. Here you go. Here you go. Transgender man jailed for 21 months in the UK for assault after tricking a straight man into a sex act and failing to disclose that he was a male. Bro. How drunk were you? How drunk were you that you didn't realize that was a dude? I mean, yeah, look. Some of these trannies, you know, they got a pretty good deal going on. They got a pretty good disguise. You know, some of them you might say, all right, they got you. Some of them you might understand, they got you. That ain't one. That ain't one, bro. That's on you. That one's on you, man. Jailed after convincing the man he was a woman before later disclosing his biological gender, leading his victim to feel sick. Now, honestly, it's like, it's not rape, but I think it's sexual assault. To me, that's sexual assault. That's an interesting one. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't start hearing more of these stories. Yikes. Don't let it be you. For the love of, please, I'm praying for you, right? Don't let it be you. Don't do drugs. Don't drink. Don't do that. Because that one's on you. That's what you got to do now. It's like, hey, you're on a date. Oh, yeah. You want to go out and maybe come over later? It's like, yeah, you are a woman, right? Well, you signed this saying you're a woman. Sorry, not going to work out. All right, let's take one call before we sign off for the week, our debut week. Last caller, go ahead. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you from?
Is that me, Owen?
Yep, that's you. What's your name? Where are you from?
Hey, Joe from Michigan.
All right, what's up, Joe?
Hey, glad to have you back, Owen. Watched you forever. I was going to say, like, when you do your interviews and stuff, when you were with Alex and you worked with Roger Stone, could you get him on air, Roger still, or just to get his
that's a
take on
great
the Trump
idea.
situation?
I should get Roger on air. Yeah, he's a great friend.
Yeah, and I was just wondering, what's with Israel, all that stuff.
You broke up there. You were choppy. What did you say?
Well, I'm just saying, I followed, politics for a long time. I was way back when the Spotlight paper was on with, I followed it forever, and it's kind of great talking to you just to let you know. But, with Jim Tucker and stuff, I met him before when he used to write the Spotlight paper and
That's
stuff.
Yeah, it's a little before my age. I know of it. I'm aware of it. A little before my age.
Yeah, but I followed it for a long time, and then, like I say, I followed Alex there for a while, and then you come on, and then, like I say, I was always waiting for your show in the afternoon. So, but I was just like interviews with what was the other guy, Michael Yon. I mean, that guy seems to be pretty straightforward.
Yeah, another friend of mine that I should get on soon too. We'll get all these guys on for an interview. And just so you know, and I'm glad you got through today. It's nice to talk to you. We're out of time for the day.
Yeah.
My plan here moving forward is the Owen Report. I'm not going to have guests. If you're tuning into the Owen Report, you're going to get Owen. So I don't really anticipate having guests on this show. But as I said, I will be doing interviews. I will be doing isolated interviews like a separate show where I do bring on guests and interview them as an isolated show, if you will. So that's kind of my strategy. I think that's what I like as a consumer of political talk radio. I don't like when people have guests on normally. I mean, there's times when it's strategic and it makes sense, obviously. But I'm like, I want to listen to the person who I'm listening to. That's how I like it. I assume that's how other people like it. It's how the real great one, Rush Limbaugh, did it. So that's kind of how we're going to do it. So I don't really think we're going to be doing guests on the show. We will be doing guest interviews that you can find on my Rumble, my YouTube, X, and everywhere else where we are at. By the way, audio archives, iHeartRadio, Spotify, iTunes, those are live every day. We're live on YouTube, Rumble, and X. Appreciate everybody tuning in this week. A great first week. We kind of went through some issues. Like I said, folks, a lot of this week, and maybe, today you realize I was in a little better flow than some other days. So just understand, a lot of the things we did this week, we were doing a lot of stress tests. We were trying some different things. I'm seeing the things I like. I'm seeing the things I don't like. I'm seeing the things that work. I'm seeing the things that don't work. We may have a little bit of that again next week, kind of just going through the process until we get the final product, the best product for you. But we're kind of just doing a live through it, experience it, see what works, see what doesn't. And I'd say probably going to be a little bit of that next week. But I think by November, you're really going to see what the final product here is going to look like. And I think you're getting closer to it now. I think today's show was a lot closer to what the final product is going to look like. But we're still working through some things and deciding what works, what doesn't, what we like, what we don't like. And we always love to hear your feedback on that as well. We always appreciate that as well. So that is going to do it for this week, the opening week. I hope everybody enjoyed it as much as I did. I hope you'll tune in again next week. We're going to continue to do it. We love it. You love it. We're talking politics. We're having a good time. Having more fun than a human being should be allowed to have. Have a great weekend, guys. Have a great weekend.